Hello team and welcome back to the Football Social live on Football Daily and Soccer M's YouTube pages. You're joining us for a game that could decide the title. Dramatic. Oh, just let that simmer, lads. Joining me is Harry Pinheiro. How are you, sir?
I'm feeling good, confident. 2-1 United.
You're always a very positive guy.
Always.
You must have been emboldened by that performance against Tottenham.
I saw Rashford, a.k.a. Lionel Messi, a.k.a. Cristiano Ronaldo.
It started already.
In full form. So how can I not be confident?
I mean, last time we had Harry on, he said Eddie Howe for Manchester United. So.
And I'm still standing by it. Still standing by it.
Joining us as well is our very own Ash Amidi. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
I don't know why I felt the need to full name you there, but it's on screen.
It's fine, full name. Ollie, four games unbeaten. We're winning this today. Come on, boys.
Okay.
Come on, boys.
Extremely positive on that side of the studio. I'm hoping to counterbalance it here. David, how are you, mate?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Of course. Oh, I'm very good. A Liverpool fan. You've just seen Liverpool effectively, wrap up 3 points today. Are you confident that, if Manchester United prevail, the title is Liverpool's?
No. A lot of football to be played. What is this, game week 15, isn't it? Got 23 games left.
And that's what I was hoping for. A bit of realism, a bit of cynicism on this side of the studio.
But,
thank you.
I know the two boys are big Man U fans, but I can't see anything other than a City win.
Yeah, I mean, we're very much Team City on this half, as the bets later will reflect. Will.
Hi, mate.
Hello. Talking of betting men, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm wonderful, thank you. The third person to ask. That's lovely. How can people get in touch if they want to ask the guys a question on this show?
Yes, to get in touch, all you have to do is tweet at SoccerAM, at Football Daily, use the hashtag TFS, and I'll ask the best questions to the panel, Chris.
Emphatically done. I really missed you in the midweek show. Good to have you back, mate. Let's have a quick review of the earlier games, starting with Everton versus Chelsea at Goodison Park, because Big Dunk's first game ended in a 3-1 victory, lads. And all of a sudden, a little capitulation by Chelsea looks... Not capitulation's a little bit strong, but they've been struggling a little bit more of late. I think this is probably a fair reflection of where they are as a team. I nicked this stat from David Myler, so apologies for that. But Everton made 37 tackles today, the most the team has made since the start of the 2016-17 season. So it just shows you the Everton players much more capable of what they were demonstrating under Marco Silva. I mean, I don't think it was on the cards them getting relegated, but where do we think, given the talent in that squad, that Everton should be, lads? We'll get on to Chelsea in just a second. Starting with you, Harry.
18th. I think, the shackles are off, but they're not a worldy team. I don't think they've got a lot of strength and depth anyway, so, yeah. But they'll be struggling to, get out of that, but they'll be topsy-turvy. But I don't think they'll get relegated, though.
That's so harsh, 18.
That's so harsh, isn't it?
I'm a harsh lad. I mean,
feel free to disagree, guys. This is an open forum. Anyone disagree with 18th?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 19th for me.
No, Everton should be pushing Europa League. They should be like 8th, 9th, up like there. They should be up like minimum.
OK, just to give you some context, this is the bottom half of the table on the screen now. So that victory moved Everton up to 14th. They are only another victory away from entering the top half. So, like you said, it's early days, David. It's pretty easy to reverse your fortunes at this stage. But look at the teams above them, given they've spent 450 million since the start of Mashiri's reign. Burnley, Brighton, Newcastle. That's not to do those sides a disservice. But Everton were tipped to be challenging that top sort of 6 hegemony at the start of the season, weren't they? This is the top half of the table. So Chelsea subsequently moving, staying in 4th. Let's touch upon Liverpool then, because their unbeaten streak remains. You saw some of the goals earlier in the studio. What did you make of their performance, David?
Standard.
Yeah, just a winning machine.
Yeah, just the performance. Like, they look like champions, like the way they're playing. Obviously, there's a lot of football, and I've said that they've not won the league yet, but the way they're playing, you look during the week against Everton, they rested players. They rest more players today. It's just light work.
Yeah. There's some full-time scenes. You're, of course, absolutely livid they didn't bring Mane on because of the complexion of your fantasy football league. And I've never met a man so into it. I'm sure we'll be revisiting that as the game goes on. But Salah got his 10th goal of the season.
But I didn't know. This is his first away goal this season.
Really?
Yeah.
9 have come at home.
I'll give you the stats, man.
keep feeding them. Keep feeding them in.
Yeah.
Keep feeding them in.
Firmino's not scored at home in all competitions. There's another one. Yeah.
You're just you're like Rain Man.
Yeah, he's got everything in there. What else?
Let's go over to the full-time scenes in the Tottenham game. Sorry. Because Jose Mourinho will be a very happy man as well, won't he? His side dispatching Sean Dyche's Burnley 5-0. Of course, that is 9 goals conceded for Burnley in the last 2 games. It's not been a good game week for them, has it? Manchester City and Tottenham, a very tough run. Now, they were disappointing against Manchester United. We had Paul Robinson on the bench.
I feel like with United, this season we've proved against the top teams that we don't really lose against them. We actually do, come up to the test. And I think we had to win that game because it was Jose Mourinho. I think a lot of the players probably wasn't fans of him before he left. And I think Rashford, being one of them, proved to everyone how good he can be on his day. So for me, I think that was just a great result for the team. Hopefully we can build on that and get the 3 points today as well.
How do you feel about Mourinho being at Tottenham?
I want him to do terribly. I've got no love for that man at all.
Say what you really mean, Ash.
No. What I found really interesting about the United-Spurs game is Spurs played how United used to play in big games. They just wouldn't win the second balls. The tempo wasn't good enough. We completely flipped that on Jose, and we played like a Solskjaer team that was hungry to win every ball, and I love seeing that. And sometimes we don't have the quality of City, Liverpool, but if we can make up for it in that, I know it's old-fashioned, but that win the ball, win the second ball, someone like Scott McTominay coming back is so important for us now. You would never have thought that 18 months ago, but he's become our most important player almost.
I've always said that. I feel like for me, even if we don't win the game, at least try and put some effort into the game. And I don't think we've been doing that, especially under Jose as well.
It's so basic. It's such a basic requirement. You would have known, David. You can't go into games like big games like that, like half-paced.
It is like, of course, it's the most.
Yeah.
It's the first thing that your player is required of players, should I say?
Yeah.
You expect. We had a tendency to get results.
More stats.
And
More
that was
stats
what
David,
you call it. Yeah.
I'm calling him stat man now.
Yeah. It's like we used to try and do like 118k between the team, which usually outran teams.
Were you one of the highest in the running stats?
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah, because I had to run. That was my job. My job was to run, win the ball back, give it to the better player.
I love that. I mean, I've certainly been.
Hey, if that's the way it's gone, if that's what you need to do, that's what you do.
Yeah. No, but the team is so reliant on players like that. Again, look at McTominay. He does the running. He's like the heartbeat of the team now. Fred, I've been a massive critic of Fred, but he looks better when McTominay's
Jose said after the game, didn't he, that McTominay was dominant and that his Tottenham midfield couldn't deal with him. And when you look at the strength and depth in that midfield, that's quite a statement. I mean, he had Ndombele on the bench, of course, Christian Eriksen on the bench. Talking of Christian Eriksen, as United fans, we spoke about this midweek. He's supposedly available for in the region of 25 to 30 mil in January. Would you boys welcome him at Old Trafford?
If you asked me 2 years ago, I'd say yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. Something seems to be going wrong with him, maybe off the pitch, because his performances haven't actually been the best. And I don't think that's what Man United need right now. There's more places in our team that need filling right now. Midfield's not really it is the main thing, but he's not that type of midfield player that we need. We need someone that's more box to box, that's going to allow, if Pogba does stay, Pogba to move further up the pitch. But he is a great player. I just don't think for United right now. Maybe in another team he'd be good, but not United. Right?
I agree. It's kind of like, it's not exactly the same, but when Sanchez left Arsenal for United, it's that big name that people wanted to come and make a massive difference at the club, but things aren't going well for Eriksen on the pitch, and it was the same for Sanchez at Arsenal. I don't know if he's going to come and transform our team.
Nor off the pitch. The only reason he's not at United is apparently because he was holding out for that move to Real Madrid, and now that doesn't look like it's going to happen. But yeah, we'll pick up on that in a little bit, guys, because let's touch upon Watford. It was Nigel Pearson's first game in charge. There's the final scenes as, they earn a credible point against a buoyant Crystal Palace, let's say, who won with 10 men earlier in the week, didn't they? Do we think Nigel Pearson is the right appointment? Starting with you, David. He's been there before, hasn't he? In terms of keeping a team in the Premier League when they look down and out.
Yes, I get that. Obviously, he's been out of the Premier League for a while. That's probably the best way to put it. He went to Derby after Leicester, then he was in Belgium. I think it might have been like Leicester's sister club that he was over with. So it's hard to know. Look, if he keeps Watford in the Premier League, then it's job done and it's a great appointment. If he doesn't, then, do you know what I mean? It's a bad appointment. Yeah. Do I think he's the right man? I think there are other options, but look, good luck to him. It's a good start, the 0-0 draw. I'm just happy because Martin Kelly kept me a clean sheet.
There we go. Drawing it back to fantasy football. Yeah. I think that's probably going to be a common theme.
Yeah, I'm going to send Martin a little WhatsApp after and say cheers, mate.
Well, apparently Chris Hughton turned down the job. I mean, it's not been confirmed, but. Yes, that's why I said it, Will.
I didn't know that.
Do you think he would have been a better candidate, lads, very quickly?
So I was reading something quite interesting in that they were only offering a deal until the end of the season. So that's why Nigel Pearson took the job over someone like Chris Hughton, because Chris Hughton would come in and ideally he'd be saying, I want a 3-4 year deal, you know, bring the club back to top 10 in the Premier League. Evaluate once the season's done.
Is there such a thing as a long-term appointment at Watford? It is a revolving door policy, isn't it?
So they could have
Chris Hughton deserves better. He's such a nice guy.
He does,
yeah, I think they could bring Javi Gracia back. Like, he was so good for them. He got them to the FA Cup final. They're probably regretting now sacking him and bringing Sanchez Flores in. But he did a great job. Yeah. They brought Kike back in. Maybe they're bringing Javi Gracia back in. You never know.
I don't think he'll come back.
Yeah. I don't think he'll come back either, but you never know.
Any other potential candidates, Harry, that you can think of before we move on to Leicester?
Eddie Howe.
Nah, Eddie Howe's he's going to be an elite manager, mark my words, guys. But I just feel like with the Premier League right now, we have a tendency of keep going back to managers who have been sacked. So it's like, it doesn't really change with Watford. I feel like they don't have that belief in their managers in terms of long term. And Eddie Howe, sorry, not Eddie Howe, Chris
Hughton,
yeah. He's more a manager that likes to build his teams, and like, you saw what he done with Brighton and all the other teams he's been part of. So I don't think it would have been the right job for him. He needs longevity because it's not easy to build a team in the Premier League because it's very cutthroat. So I know he wouldn't want to put himself in that position.
I want the Premier League team to offer Bielsa a job, see if he can.
Well, Leeds are top at the moment, aren't they?
I know, yeah.
So he'd probably stay there.
Well, let's not talk about them. They won't get promoted.
And if they don't get promoted, apparently he will leave. But let's park the chat for now because I'm hearing we do have the lineups ready to go. So let's take a quick look at Manchester City, of course, the home side.
Angelino, get at him.
Yeah,
Angelino, straight in. Okay, you think he's the weak point.
That left side.
Maybe if Daniel James swaps wing like we have seen so often this season.
We call him DJ.
you can get at Angelino.
Yeah, that left-hand side, it's not bad, you know.
It really isn't. I can't lie.
You've got Silva and Sterling too, you know.
No, forget about them. Forget them. When you played them at Anfield, Angelino looked lost in that first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
He's very, very good at going forward.
And that's the problem for them, is because.
But then again, what way are you going to play? Are you going to counter?
I think the best thing for us to do...
Let's see what they're up against, lads, before we get stuck into the conversation. Only one change in that City squad, by the way. That was John Stones coming in for Otamendi. And Manchester United, because I feel like, the chat is going to continue. It's going to come thick and fast after this. Martial returns from that muscular injury that kept him out against Tottenham. All smiles on the right-hand side of the studio because Rashford has been playing a lot better when Martial has been in the side. Lingard keeps a prominent place in the side. He's been kind of back in contention, in weeks gone by. Does that fill your confidence, Manchester United fans on this side of the studio, looking at those two lineups?
That front three, I think, only problem is they're not consistent enough collectively. But that's a very, very good front three. We've got pace, we've got strength, we've got goals. I feel like during a counter-attack, if we are able to expose them, there's goals in that team. And I feel very, very confident with those three. If they're on form today, there's no reason why we can't score goals.
Yeah, and do you think is that how you would set up Ash, in a similar vein to the Tottenham game?
It's got to be. We're not going to dominate possession against the City team. They've got Rodri, KDB and Silva in the middle, and it's going to be tough to get the ball off them, let's be honest. And we've only got a two-man midfield, so I don't see us having a lot of possession of the ball. We're going to have to soak up pressure and just hit them on the counter-attack. What Solskjaer does sometimes, he did it against Spurs last season, he pinpointed a weakness and let them have the ball. And then as soon as we got the ball, he went for that weakness against Spurs. I think it was Ben Davies at left back, and you knew that was a weak spot. And that's where the goal came from. Pogba picked up the ball deep, one ball over the top to Rashford, who was in. That's the only goal of the game. Maybe we'll do something like that against Angelino and Fernandinho. That seems like the weak spot in City's team, right?
Sure. David, so, I mean, as a Liverpool fan, I'm sure you will be very keen on a Manchester United win. Does it fill you with confidence looking at that lineup? Do you think there's any chance of that happening? Because Manchester City, like Pep Guardiola said very recently in the press, he can't believe the point disparity already. He thinks they're playing, very good football. They've scored 62 goals this season. Do they stand a chance? It's a big inhale, that.
Yeah, that was a massive one.
I don't. Look, I think this is... I get what the lads are saying. But I just think the way City play, especially I watched them against Burnley. I was very impressed with them at Burnley. I think they're kind of starting to regain that form. Jesus has obviously started to score.
What about that Jesus goal as well, the opener?
Incredible. And I think he is the heir to Aguero's throne. I think that's the plan for him. Obviously, I think they're hoping for Phil Foden to take over from David Silva, which is huge boots to try and fill. I think Jesus is more like Aguero. I like. Do you know what? I want to see a good game. Obviously, Man United winning is better for any Liverpool fan, but I just can't see City getting beat, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement. We can actually hear from both managers right now. It might give us more of an inkling as to what system they're going to set up with. So there they are in the tunnel. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I love that little head rub, by the way, on Jose Mourinho.
That was perfect. Rashford's done that. Do you remember Rashford did it to Mbappe?
Yes,
when we beat them in PSG.
yeah,
It's a thing we do.
Yeah.
Small man. You little man. You little man.
On that
I love
note,
all of that.
let's hear from them right now.
How do you think this game will pan out today? Your possession-based team and their counter-attack. How will it be?
Well, they are pace in front, so fast with Martial, Rashford, Lingard and James. So, yeah, all four. They have a lot of quality to, one against one and quality. So I know they are going to try to do that. We have to try to control it.
What's the mentality of your players going into today?
They're confident, but also humble. They know that we're playing against a fantastic side on their home ground, so we'll have to perform. They know that, but they're looking forward to the game. It was, of course, a boost, Wednesday night's result. We've had many games now, 1-0 up, then it's been down to 1 each and it ended a draw. And this time we managed to turn it around to get a deserved win. We feel we should have had more wins. So the confidence boost is hopefully there to see today.
Do you need anything extra, anything different in a derby? Is it a different type of day?
Yes, of course, it's special for our fans, for the people, but you have to try to be focused on what you have to do, not just for emotion derby. So at the end, it's a football game, 90 minutes, 94, 95. And the battle will be with the players on the pitch, and of course, and our supporters here help us, to make an extra.
All the best, Pep.
Thank you so much.
That's what the manager's thoughts. This is what we think. I've gone for 3-1. Sterling, first goal scorer, which kind of belies his record against Manchester United so far. I'm sure we'll touch upon that in a minute. David's gone 4-1, so we're fairly confident of a Manchester City win on this side of the studio. Although Will has gone for his traditional 3-3 with Rashford as first goal scorer. A little bit more positive on this side of the studio. 2-1 Harry, 3-1 Ash McTominay, first goal scorer.
McTominay's a big game player.
1,250 to 1.
I've put a quid on it. I've put a pound on it.
Do you know what? I might put a fiver on that. Just
Odds are accurate at the time of recording. Go on skybet.com to see more details. You have to be 18 plus to play along, of course. 1,250 to 1. I think they're the longest odds we've had so far on the show, so well done, Ash.
Well done, Ash.
Back with a splash.
First time I've been beaten.
Congratulations.
Well done. Well done.
Somebody turns up.
Dream big.
outrageous bet anyway.
How's 3-1
turns up in
United
the
more
big
than
games.
3-3?
I know.
Right, can I just discuss with all of you guys? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said pre-match, and I love him kind of stoking the flames, that United are still a bigger club than Manchester City. Of course, City set to finish above Manchester United for their 7th consecutive season. They've won 3 titles since United won in 2013. What more the Manchester City have to do, to be regarded as the bigger club? If Pep stays there, if this dynasty continues?
For me, you look at Liverpool. Liverpool ran the 80s, early 90s. They were dominant. The Man United, we controlled the 20th century. I say from the 1990s up until 2000s, we controlled it. I feel like Chelsea had their little time as well. City, they haven't won the Champions League. I feel like that's where you signify how big you are as a club, not just in UK, but in Europe. And because they haven't done that yet, they're still not, for me, like bigger than Manchester United.
Yeah.
I feel like it takes a long time. Liverpool haven't won a Premier League and are still levels with Manchester United in terms of...
pedigree, history.
Pedigree,
but do
everything,
you like
what
to
it
see your
does.
manager kind of talk about the past so often?
That's the only thing we got.
He's right. We've only got to live off the past.
That's what I'm gearing towards. So if Manchester City win a Champions League under Pep Guardiola in the next year, 2 years, I'm sure they'll become a much more appealing prospect for players than United.
Yeah. They are now.
You have to get Champions League away squad-wise, in your humble opinions, from competing once more.
It's tough because you look at the team and you think maybe we're 3 players away, a really good centre midfielder, a right winger and a centre forward away from a very decent starting 11, right? But those 3 players that we earmark and you hear talk about in the press, why would they come to us? Why would Sancho come to United over someone like Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City might want him back? Why would he come to us?
I tried to tap him up in the summer.
Did you?
Yeah, he was at a festival I hosted and I was like, big man, please. Make your way over, man.
What did he say?
He just started laughing. He's probably looking at me, look at this madman. I ain't going nowhere.
But the thing is, right, you say that, but you name a player in Europe that could come and start ahead of Liverpool's front 3, Man City's front 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I agree with that, but then would you not think if Liverpool bought a Sancho, they'd just try and fit him in somewhere?
Where's he going to fit? He ain't going to drop Salah, Mane, or
He's not going to
Firmino.
drop one. He might just
The only thing
reshuffle.
I could possibly see them doing is how United was when we had so much strikers, we had so much wingers, but
you also then had a manager who could actually get the best out of 4.
and we was in all competitions up until semi-finals and quarterfinals.
So everyone's playing 30, 40 games a year.
You get me? So for me, I just look at it like this: we are the team in terms of the second fiddle in terms of what teams would players want to come to. Chelsea, another one. United, another one. But we're not playing good football at the moment, and I feel like players talk to players. They're probably seeing that these players are not really happy at the moment, form-wise. So it is a difficult situation for us to be in at the moment. But however, I think if we can finish the season stronger, and like I said, there's a system that's persistently happening, then players might, say, okay, cool, I'll give it a try.
But even so, I think it's a lot different than when Mourinho was manager.
Yeah.
I think that was like a bad fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
don't think the players were that happy or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But like if you look at it now, there seems to be more togetherness with Solskjaer in charge.
Yeah.
So that like going back to your point about like fellas, like players talking to other players, they might say, he's good. Yeah. I like where it's going, which then like entices players to think, do you know what? Because you're Sancho's, he might want to get back to England, and he's thinking, like, if you look at it, like I said, Liverpool City, is he going to get in and start every week? No, he's not. That's just the way it is. Chelsea, Arsenal, United, they're the 3 clubs that could he go to? Yeah, he could go to any of them and play, but he might be more inclined to go to United because United's history is far greater than Man City's. Like I even saw, I'll give you another stat.
Oh, here we go. Tease me, David.
There's been this big thing, recently. I don't know if you saw on Twitter, the Premier League team of the decade, where people have been chopping. So it was then who's the team of the decade? So everyone then immediately jumps like they go Man City. They've won 3 Premier Leagues, a couple of FA Cups, whatever. But Chelsea have won 4 Premier Leagues. They've won the Champions League, so they are technically the team of the decade.
I've always said that. Yeah,
They are the team of the. And like, it's taken them. Like if you look at when kind of Ranieri, then turned into Mourinho with Abramovich. That time is when Chelsea really started to like come alight in the Premier League. But like,
and that's been in a period where Abramovich has been a little bit disinterested in actually owning the football club, contemplated selling it as well. Whereas Manchester United have consistently pumped money in and still not found themselves quite as competitive.
Yeah, but even so, like your point, the question you asked is, will City become a bigger club than Man United? The only way they'll become a bigger club than Man United is in 20 years' time. They've won 10, 11, 12 Premier League titles in that 20 years, and they've won 2 Champions Leagues, 3 Champions Leagues.
Well, I suppose, yeah.
Which is very difficult. If you look at Liverpool have 6 European Cups. Man United have 3. Do you know what I mean? It's like City don't have one. Like Liverpool and Man United are the 2 biggest clubs.
Very hard.
Just the way it is.
When you
consider
history, like we mentioned, Premier League pedigree, that obviously informs a player's opinion, but not maybe as much as it used to, right? If you're a Jadon Sancho, like you've said, the rigidity of the Manchester City and Liverpool's formations might ward him off somewhat.
When a player is going to sign for a club, there's 2 questions, right? Am I going to play? How much am I getting paid?
And at Manchester United, you're ticking both boxes at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah.
So
that's like, and
so we're saying they remain appealing, but for the wrong reasons because they're not necessarily.
No, but it's like
I agree because you look at Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea. even when Liverpool and Chelsea weren't winning trophies, you'd still go to those teams simply because they're massive, massive teams. They're going to be playing in the Champions League. Yeah. They're going to be challenging for top 4. United right now are not that team. And history-wise, yes, you're going to be a big star and you're going to make money and whatnot. But football purposes, it's not an appealing team to come to as of now. So I feel like teams like United, if we want these players, we've got to do stuff. Yeah, that's got nothing to do.
Do you know what? I actually disagree. I think United is still up
a
there.
Draw.
Yeah, I'd say like it's Manchester United.
As we see on screen now, it'd be a different kettle
Do
of
you know what I mean? It's Manchester United.
And I want to pick this back up with, are Manchester United going to be able to finish in the Champions League places with Solskjaer at the helm, or are they going to be able to challenge with him at the helm, or will it involve a manager change? But Will, I'm going to come over to you for some comments because we've not heard from you in a little while, and that's always very sad.
That's all right, mate. I've been prepping these questions.
How do people get in touch?
He's been checking the Birmingham score.
And have we got any questions?
Yeah, plenty of questions coming in. If you want to get involved, use the hashtag TFS at Football Daily, at SoccerAM. We've got a question here from Omar. He said, is Pep wrong for not announcing he's not going to buy anyone in January? Obviously, defensive issues, maybe a few midfield ones.
That's a great question, because we were just talking about transfers, weren't we? Go on, David.
But it comes back to, right, if they go and spend, like, the players that City are going to buy, like, you're talking about Koulibaly, Napoli, Skriniar, Inter, those types, you're going to pay 60, 70, 80 million for him, right? That's just what you're going to pay to get him in. Then he's going to come in, he's going to start to play because, Laporte has been injured. But then Laporte comes back. And then all of a sudden you've got, do we play Laporte? Do we play this fella? You paid 50 million for Stones. Do you know what I mean?
You've got Mendy on the bench.
Well, this goes back to what you were saying before about in terms of competition for places.
But a lot of it then comes down to the character of the player. Does he want to play? Like, there's been plenty of players, like if you remember Winston Bogarde years ago at Chelsea, the rumours were that he was on 40 grand a week but never wanted to play football.
Yeah, good luck.
Do you know what I mean? He just sat there. Whereas
it's a good lad.
Easy money if you can do it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like with buying excess amount of players, Pep has the money to do it. He has the finances to do it. However, I don't think that's the right thing to do, especially in January. If it was a summer thing, then that's cool. They can get rid of a player, whether it be Stones, because I feel like Stones doesn't have a longevity at Man City if they go and buy Koulibaly. Koulibaly's a way better defender, and so is Laporte. So for me, I feel like it doesn't make sense him buying anyone, and if he does, it's better off getting someone who's much cheaper. Yeah. And there are good defenders who are not world-class names in terms. They are good players about.
We look at Soyuncu.
Ake is a great defender.
Ake's a great defender.
But even that, though, because he's English, so he's Dutch, but because he's playing in the Premier League at a lower club, his price is like 60, 70 million straight away.
So that was the one.
Tyrone Mings, right?
That was the one. Do you remember when Maguire obviously left Leicester to go thing? It was all like a domino effect. We're going to go after Ake, and they said, well, hold on a minute, you just got 80 million from Maguire.
Yeah.
We want 65, 70 million for Ake.
It was like that with Lewis Dunk as well. He was linked with the move to Leicester after Maguire from Brighton. It was suddenly 50 million.
And the same with Tarkowski, and like you said, it's so hard to get.
I'm worth 70 million. I might as well just start putting my price tag on. You see my videos? I'm amazing.
Really?
Yeah, I'll show you that after. Don't worry.
It is so difficult to get players out of Premier League clubs, never mind in January when you're going to be paying a premium on those players. And he's never traditionally shopped around in January. I mean, he has done a little bit, but he's always 50 mil as well. But that was his release clause as well, right?
I was very sceptical about that because I thought, he's playing in Spain in comparison to over here.
You were sceptical about him playing in Spain?
Do you know why? Because Spain,
the top-seeded division.
Well, look how great Hazard's played in the Premier League, and he's having a stinker at Real Madrid. Stinker.
I agree with you, but then there's also the thing is Hazard's got his big move, comes back pre-season overweight.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. It's like
how can you
very quickly? That's unforgivable, isn't it, as a professional to return to a club, especially when you're the record signing. Yeah. What would you be saying, David?
But I to answer you quickly, and I'll go to the thing. We had just been promoted to the Premier League. The internationals, blah, blah, blah. And then, do you know what I mean?
Big summer. FIFA.
No, there was no FIFA.
Don't tell me it wasn't FIFA.
No, this was back before I played.
Who was the worst in terms of turning up? Overweight.
Wow.
I don't want to name Shane.
Who's the fattest player you played with?
Titus Bramble. No, Big T went away one summer and came back, and I tell you, he came back like a fridge.
I love that. It's pre-kick-off, and we've already thrown someone clean under the bus.
Yeah, I have a Big T's a good guy. He's a good guy. He'll
Guys,
remember.
if you want to know who else, return to pre-season at Hull overweight, then get in the comments. That'll be our half-time special feature. We've got any other questions to keep us ticking over until Manchester United kick off. It looks pretty imminent.
Yes, mate,
So
plenty flying
in.
One here from Richie says, has Ash lost the plot with his score prediction? Richie saying, this month is so vital for Manchester City. They have to stay in touch. Can't afford to drop any more points.
Yep.
So, gents, well, I mean, we've touched on it a little bit. It's
inevitable. It's going to happen. Liverpool are going to play 2 games in a week, draw 1, lose 1, and City are going to win 2, and then everyone's going to go, ooh. We've got to know this day is that moment's coming.
And we've kicked off.
Come on, City.
Come on. Love that kick-off from United as well. Very Sunday League. To Lindelof, straight down the other end of the pitch.
Shoot, Kevin.
Chris, are we going pro-City just to level it out?
We are going pro-City,
There's just
mate.
something about United at Etihad, yeah, when we're not supposed to win.
Do you remember Van Persie?
Yeah, do you remember Pogba at the second half?
last year.
No, do you know what? Do you know what I actually saw on Twitter early this morning on the way down to London was Company's header.
Oh, wow.
What, the first one?
Yeah, he's done 2.
The one to
league
win it.
title winner.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's how we're going to lose this game. I forgot to
What
mention.
you call it?
You see the wings? City on the wing, when they whip that ball in, it's always a catastrophe for Bissaka.
Wan-Bissaka against
He is an Iron Man. Iron Man.
I mean, this could be one of the individual battles of the game, couldn't it?
Of the season.
That'd be really good, actually.
Season.
This will be better than Joshua Ruiz, I think, down that left-hand side.
Well, if you believe the studio, it's going to be another walk in the park for Ruiz. What's going on?
2 heavyweights, 2 lightweights.
Totally run a different sport. Anyway, let's return to the game.
Angelino is playing as a left winger. This is great for us.
But this is what we expected. Look, City dominate possession. Don't press the centre-backs. That's fine. Let them have the ball there, and then we'll counter.
I feel like them 3 are going to just start ushering forward the minute City lose the ball.
Yeah, this is... OK, United, 21 points from 15 games. Their worst start to a season since 86-87. We know it's not been good. But, in a derby game...
What a touch.
What a turn.
What a touch.
In a derby game. How much do we...
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. There you go.
Go on.
Go on, clamp him. I don't mind. We'll take a foul there.
You'd have thought United...
By the way, Fernandinho should be banned for this game. He should have been sent off.
Oh, James!
Oh, my God. I told you guys. It's coming. It's coming.
Harry, break down that attack for us.
Slow down now.
Play him.
Before I break...
Kevin.
See you on the break.
Before I break the attack down. Oh, my God.
Sterling's in the box. He's cut inside.
Reverse it.
Play him.
No.
Hey, Kevin.
Yes, Wan-Bissaka.
AWB. Spider.
Listen, that's a bit of law and order in it. So can you describe United's chance for me, Harry?
That is
and then
going to
how did City
happen.
break?
It's going to happen so many times where we break, we use our pace and use our efficiency, but then if we don't score, City are going to do the same thing back to us. It's going to be end-to-end.
Ash, when United...
I said that.
When United
You did.
inevitably...
I'm just copying what you did.
When United
Stat man.
inevitably concede, I'm going to be coming over to you for the poor defending, all right?
out.
And Harry for the
He's
attack.
in. Lowenard across.
What a ball.
A dink.
Oh, wow.
Luke Shaw, get
Ash,
out.
we might be coming to you sooner rather than later, mate. What's happening?
From
You
McTominay.
can't do that. It's offside, right?
It's not.
This is a frantic start. 2.5
Man U
minutes
player-
in.
This is a real derby.
If a Man U player plays it back, then he's onside.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I've never played football before.
Ash, what happened there then? How was City carving out opportunities in the box?
From United's attack.
Yeah.
They broke. So United had a good attack down the left. Rashford, a nice ball to Martial, who just held the ball off back inside to the middle Fred, and it broke to James on the right. Actually a good chance, shot on target, good save, and then City just broke. Kevin De Bruyne going through the middle of the pitch. Nice ball out to Sterling, and it was snuffed out by Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
I think this is a very, very important game for Fred and McTominay because they need to beat our...
No, it's not handball, it's not handball.
They sort of beat
No, it's
our-
not handball, don't go to VAR. I hate VAR.
That's a lovely bit of defending there from Scott McTominay.
It's been checked.
And like you guys said, he could be a crucial
He is
figure in
going
this
to
game.
be. He is going to be. I feel like...
Is that outside is a natural
Didn't look
silhouette?
like a handball.
Okay, a little bit of drama here very early
Oh,
on.
no, his stomach,
Chest.
his stomach.
Yeah, there you
Stomach,
go.
he slid. That was a great bit of
Conspiracy.
defending.
The United fans have already decided pre-VAR
yes. We didn't need
what
no
it is,
VAR for
what's
that.
happening, what the decision
Come
is.
on.
And just the keepers going.
That's
in
one
the
thing
studio.
about Bissaka. He's on the ball. He's not the best.
He's not.
Well, he's got to add that to his game, hasn't he, going
Yeah, he
forward?
does,
I mean,
he does.
defensively, he's incredible.
You know, he's a winger, but
Yeah,
he was a winger turned defender, so I thought he'd
took
actually be
his
a lot
chance,
better
didn't he?
going forward. Maybe he's just a terrible winger.
But expectations are a bit lower at Crystal Palace than they are at Manchester United.
There you go.
Academies.
That's a foul, ref. James got a fresh trim.
Questions in thick and fast, Chris. One about Liverpool, David, your team.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've got the big unenvious task of playing 2 games in 2 games.
2 games in 2 days. Yeah.
What do you make of the team selection? Obviously, they're going a bit light on the Carabao Cup show.
Look, it's a great opportunity for the young boys, like the 23s or the so-called 21s. I'm not sure nowadays. It keeps changing.
Lads.
Yeah, the younger boys. It's a great opportunity for them to play a competitive game for Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Pep, the assistant, will have them very well organised. That they have.
Yeah.
So they just have to deal with it. You look at the squad he's picked. I believe half a dozen players are going to stay and then fly out, obviously, for the Club World Cup.
Yep.
So Liverpool will be fine. I think the focus is to go and win the focus should be to go win the Club World Cup. It's a great honour.
David, who are the young players to watch out for coming through?
I quite like
Curtis Jones.
Yeah, I like him. I like the boy Harvey Elliott.
He's tricky, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got like an eye for a
I like
pass.
Brewster as well.
Yeah, he just talks a lot about FIFA.
Yeah, he loves
doesn't
it.
he? Loves FIFA.
Yeah.
Elliot's been the one though. He's stepped up, hasn't he, when he's played?
This is how we have to play. Oh, go on.
That's a really good ball.
What a ball!
Shouting.
What a ball!
Great defending.
Great defending.
That Walker.
You've always got to break it down for the people at home when they counter like that. What happened there? Martial was almost through.
Yeah, so I think it was DJ sent. Oh, what? We call him McSauce. So yeah, Martial.
Fully justified
Give
there.
him
Received a
respect.
great ball from DJ down the middle, but great defending by Walker to just clamp him.
Another big FIFA player, Will. McTominay.
Is he?
Is he?
You've been playing him?
No, PlayStation, I'm Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's controversial.
I'm just hearing that Gabriel Jesus hasn't scored at the Etihad in 10 games. Obviously, Sterling's got a pretty bad record against United, hasn't scored in 16.
Great ball.
Oh, my
Great
God.
ball. DJ's on the wing.
Someone's record's
I
got
dare
today.
ya. Oh, unlucky. He tried to.
But we're at the other end. What happened there? Daniel James, was that Daniel James with the cross?
Nice bit of work between Wan-Bissaka
tried
and...
to get to Lingard, but got intercepted.
This is so...
This is
But it
well
really is end to end.
isn't it?
No time for questions.
Oh, look at that ball. Look at that ball.
This is what you want to see.
We will come to you in a second, Will.
That's all right. I'll jump in.
Oh, he's done him. Oh, no.
Oh! Go on, pull it back. Oh,
Don't worry, lad.
Oh, KDB.
All right, now, this is going to be one of the most end-to-end games you've probably seen.
All right, like I said,
It's basketball.
Harry on the United attacks.
Yes.
Ash on the United defending there. What happened? Because KDB came close after a very good run from Sterling.
So it's the 6th minute, and that's the first time Raheem Sterling's taken on Wan-Bissaka and absolutely done him. He got around the side of him, pulled it back. David Silva's shot just deflected out, and then it came back to KDB, and he tried to whip it top corner, but miles wide. Comfortable, great defending, to be honest.
Absolute assist merchant this season. 9 already, 3 more than anyone else. And of course,
Who's that?
This brings us back to fantasy football. The real reason you all tuned in to hear about David's team. He is in your team and he is your captain today, and that's why you're Pro City, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. That's because all my mates are at home in Ireland and they're watching. And that's why I was kicking off at the start.
Rashford to get a touch, thank you very much.
Mane didn't play because 5 of them have Mane as captain.
Steppy.
You know,
Harry
Dave.
can't contain himself over there. What's slow,
What
patient?
ball?
Handball!
VAR!
Oh,
the other way.
Yeah, handball,
against
VAR.
United. Yeah.
Free kick out.
Harry, what happened there then? Describe the build-up, mate.
Yeah, so Lingard has given the ball to Martial, so yeah, VAR not really.
Be a yellow
needed.
card.
3 handles, isn't it?
It's quite impressive.
What about Rodri's goal the other day then? Rodri clearing it eventually there.
That's what you call a
rocket.
thonker.
Yeah.
No, do you know what we call it?
What do you call it?
Paintbrush.
Why?
The technique on it.
Like a golf swing almost.
Yeah.
It's like a...
Da Vinci. That's what, honest to God, that's what like most players shout, you know, like when you're playing as a kid and the ball like gets clipped out, somebody you used to shout like your favourite player growing up. So I'd be like Scholes, I'd be like Gerrard or whatever.
Yes.
Then when you kind of like become like
I'd be like
playing,
Bruno and
becomes,
Gotti.
Do you not feel that this game is so open? Like,
yeah, it's completely open. It's so stretched.
And also extremely wide right now.
oh, hey,
Hello.
oh, what a save!
Harry.
A great pass
Dial us in, mate.
by Rashford to Lingard and the keeper saves. Oh, damn.
Oh, my
United
goodness
looking a little
me.
bit more
We look
confident.
very, very
More
good.
so washbuckling.
Slick
I
going
did tell
forward.
you guys when I did go and watch them at Old Trafford in the week, they looked very, very good, confident. So we're playing how we kind of played against Tottenham, which is good.
Yeah, that's a perfect tonic, wasn't it? Perfect tonic.
But this is seven days ago.
Yeah.
They were drawing 2-2 with Aston Villa.
Yes.
So I think Man United fans maybe need to
calm down a bit.
take
You've got an
stock.
anti-Villa agenda.
Not you, Harry, because you're on the show and we need as much energy as we can.
Villa are a good side, mate.
But you know what,
Villa
this
are
is
very
probably
good side, yeah.
You know,
This is
easily the best side
probably-
in Birmingham.
this is probably suiting
That is fact.
United more because City like to control the game, control the ball, pass it
They
around.
don't like this kind of football. You're right.
Yeah, it's just so end to end that City, like, you're just expecting Silva or De Bruyne to get on, just start knocking it, and they'll dictate the pace to Man United because at the moment it's just they're getting the ball, they're all sprinting forward. Then Man U turn it over, they're sprinting forward. Like City haven't really had a shot yet.
Messi Lingard, you guys thought I was joking. Against big teams, he always stands
Comes
up.
alive
He
in
comes
December.
out.
Yeah,
He went to
He's got
Kazakhstan
some-
and he came back and he's like a new man.
Captain the club.
He didn't like the weather out there.
No, he's come back a new man, renewed. Question, while it's a bit of a lull, Chris.
Go on, mate.
Josh Seymour's got one in. Now Chelsea's transfer ban has been lifted. Who do you think they should buy? Obviously, that's quite a broad spectrum. So who is your top target for Chelsea? We've mentioned Sancho earlier.
Let's kick things off
Yeah,
because
go.
I said on Twitter I think Ben Chilwell. I think they
Oh,
should
that's
go,
nice.
should go
Great
in
sign.
heavily for a left back. It's an
Great
easy
sign.
area to upgrade in that side.
How much
as,
would Chilwell
as
be?
okay as Emerson is,
70.
I think Chilwell will cost you in January.
Give you 60.
Leicester just don't sell, do they? They're one of the worst clubs to get players out of. I mean, they got a world record fee for Harry Maguire, and Seong-Chu's came in and kind of replaced him with ease. Not that Harry Maguire isn't a very good player, lads, as I'm sure you'll attest to. But do we have any other options other than Ben Chilwell?
Yeah, I'd say Sancho. They do need a winger. I would say I feel like they need another striker. I know Tammy's good, but I feel like they need a world-class striker. You look at Liverpool, you look at City, they've all got, if not world-class strikers, players that are top class.
I think wouldn't that hamper Tammy Abraham's development into a world-class striker?
Let's say Tammy doesn't have.
Would you shop around for another backup, or,
Definitely,
or are you buying a first-team striker, Harry?
I'm buying a first-team striker, and I'd love if I was a manager to have them two players fighting for that number 9. And if they're both scoring every time I put them on, then that's a great thing for a manager.
So a bit more strength and depth up top for Harry, and the ball eventually, Man City attack petering out. Raheem Sterling there overhitting it to Angelino. Who would you sign for Chelsea then, Ash?
I just think quite interesting what you're saying. I don't think they should sign another
Yeah.
striker, but what City did and what was said in the summer, they signed Joao Cancelo to basically put pressure on Walker because they said Walker performs much better when he's got pressure on him like that. So you've seen now Walker's been great all season. Cancelo can basically barely get in. But having
mad,
said
isn't
that, yeah, I
50
know,
million.
but
Yeah, to put some. You like to come in and just put some pressure on.
I know,
for
but they
50
also
mil.
say you could play left back. But I
50
actually,
mil for a bit of pressure.
I agree with Chilwell. I think sign Chilwell. He's your left back for 10 years.
Can I ask the question
Sure you
with the
can.
question?
You are doing it.
Chilwell, who's got a better chance of getting in the Champions League, Leicester or Chelsea? Who do you think will
At
be
current,
in that? Yeah,
it's a very good follow-up question, and I'm going to say Leicester pretty emphatically this season.
I think so, don't you?
Yeah.
How
Because they're not in no European competitions, I think that's what makes it even more easier for them.
B. Rod's just committed as well.
He
Another
has.
5 years.
Big time.
I like that.
The Rog, yeah.
B-Rod.
You're not having that.
We go way back, me and B. Rod.
You'd have to say Leicester, like the way the games have shaped out so far in the season. If they got Villa tomorrow, you'd expect them to beat Villa. Do
Comfortably.
you know what I mean? I don't know about comfortably, but you'd expect them to beat Villa.
Comfortably.
Yeah, but you're a Birmingham fan.
Comfortably.
Right. The game looks to have settled now
Calm
a little
down, isn't
bit.
it?
I think this is going to be the theme.
Here we go.
No!
Right on cue.
Who's that? Mike Dean?
Manchester City finding
What a
their
touch.
rhythm.
Lingard.
Rhythm here.
What a great defending.
Fernandinho, great defending. United almost breaking there. I was going to ask you to break it down, Ash, but we're actually at the Manchester City end now, so it feels a little bit redundant. Let's stay with Manchester United's build-up play.
This is going to be the theme of the game. Man City are going to have great chances.
Ref, foul.
And we're going to just be on the brink.
Lingard just looks like a completely new player.
It's messy.
Well, he
Tanned Messi.
hasn't scored or assisted in the league in a year, Harry. So you're kind of, touting him as a big game player.
He's such a big game player. He doesn't care about the little game.
It's not been true for a little while, but hopefully he gets back to form in this. But he's a nightmare to pick up in those little pockets, isn't it?
Remember, he was born in Manchester, but he was made in Birmingham.
He
4
was.
goals on his day, yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah,
goals on
the
one game,
crazy load spell at Birmingham.
Forgot Lee Clark made him.
That's such a nice touch from
Oh.
Silva.
Yeah, great defending.
Oh,
Hands?
that.
Hands?
Yeah.
Hands?
Could be classed as
Was
a handball, that,
was
yeah.
that outside of his? So we're just taking a closer look at the Lindelof.
it's not elbow. Elbow.
That would be harsh.
That would be so harsh.
Hang on, if that's down the other end, what are you two doing?
Penalty! Penalty!
It's not outside his natural.
It's actually great
silhouette, is it,
defending.
lads?
That's a great block, isn't it?
Right. Did we finish the conversation about Chelsea and who they should sign? I think
Just David.
I think we're pretty much
I heard.
almost wound it up. Go on.
I heard on the DL.
Oh, hold on, lads. We're getting some insider tips here.
Wilfred Zaha.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I've heard.
Was that a
They want
reliable
him.
source?
Yes.
Good.
Interesting.
Say no more.
Spoke to Frank and I spoke to Wilfred. No, I heard that. Yeah, they want Zaha.
Okay, so that could be a little football social scoop there.
How much does he cost?
Do you think he'd?
70s, 80s. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? What's
I wouldn't
anyone
say
worth?
he's worth it, but he
the
can go
price,
for that.
yeah.
Hey, the thing is, Wilfred Zaha on his day
Yeah.
is up there.
Arsenal were getting turned down at sort of 50, weren't they? Or when
Yeah.
Really?
Arsenal very cheeky
But
with their.
Arsenal went to sign
£50.
Pepe for 70 million. Do you know what I mean?
They offered, what was it for Suarez? 50 million?
No, 40 in a pen or 40 in a pound.
That's a joke.
Yeah, but his buyout. His buyout though.
The
his
clause
buyout
did
was 40.
exist. Would you personally, sign Wilf Zaha, or are you that's just something you've heard on the grapevine?
Oh, he's on.
I have heard on the great.
That's a really
Fantastic
good
ball,
pass on Daniel
Rashford.
James is in down the right.
my
Lay it
God.
back. Hit it.
Hit it.
Martial. Hit it. Oh.
Save. To be honest, all the shots are kind of going straight at the keeper. We're not actually hitting any left, bottom corner, right.
A lot of your better players coming from that right-hand side with Daniel James cutting
I did
back
tell
as
you
well.
about Angelino.
Yeah?
He's not good at all.
He's guff, isn't he?
Hey, that's so you can't say that.
I just have.
He's just
guff.
okay. His defending could improve.
Yeah, but he's a
In the
defender.
say it.
context of the rest
As a
of the
professional,
squad,
you
maybe,
can't. I
but-
can. He's horrible, all right?
Yeah, no, but the thing is, he's very good going forward.
Didn't he get like 15 assists or something stupid last season for PSV?
He was very good in the Eredivisie, but so was Georgios Samras, and I love him. So, I personally love him.
Oh!
Club legend.
Do you see Bissaka? He wants it more than anyone.
His mobility is just...
Yeah.
He's very gets angly and weird.
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka.
Nothing wrong with that.
Spider.
No,
Spider.
yeah, but like he's all those tackles, like his feet are everywhere.
We haven't
Three shots on
actually
target.
come here to sit down and just defend. It looks like we're ready to just attack anytime. We've had 4 shots, so that's a good indication.
It's playing out like we thought. City have the ball, most of the pressure. We've tried to hit him on the
Listen,
break.
such a good
and we
keeper.
don't
Shots in
like
good
it.
areas as well, man. They've been
They
from
are,
inside
yeah.
the box. It's
Oh no.
I'm just waiting for a sucker punch in a City goal.
prior to City's
That's going
kind
to
of centre-half
actually deflate
injuries.
my heart.
No, man.
It will deflate my heart. Like right now, I'm buzzing. It will deflate me.
City don't concede a lot of high quality chances, and yet you're carving
Yeah.
them out. So I think it's a very good start for Manchester United. What are the fans saying in the comments though? Are they, buoyed by Manchester United's opening 15 minutes, or do they still think it's going to be a City
Very buoyed.
City victory, mate?
Very buoyed, Chris. There's a lot of happy United fans.
Enjoying that word?
There's a lovely word.
United have started really well. They're right to be.
I think
United have had a lot better chances.
Be buoyed.
You know what I mean? Could
Made better chances.
could potentially be 1-0 up.
Actually, you'll remember
The
that.
niche question.
Yeah,
mate.
It's from Pea Shooter. He said, "Who is your favourite Mexican league player?" If anyone can answer that, I'll get them a coffee on the way out. Anyone? No, I didn't think
Wait,
so.
Isn't Vincent Janssen playing in Mexico?
I play a lot of FIFA.
Yeah, you do.
As in playing in the league.
Oh, this is the first time we spoke about the Liga MX on the Football Social, and I'm just going to kill it. I'm going to dead that question right now, Will. I can't
did
believe
say
it.
it was-
It's like, what is it? La Liga Bancomer. That's the Mexican
David,
league.
it doesn't matter. We're not talking about the Mexican league. Will, can you answer
Hernandez.
I did say it was niche, Chris. Moving
How many
on.
Hernandez are there?
Good, yeah, Hernandez.
Raul.
Kiko.
One team
Kiko
we
Hernandez.
haven't spoke about who's flirting with the top 4, Tottenham Hotspur. They've got a new manager. What will that effect have on the transfer window? Will players be wanting to go there for Jose?
Well, Tottenham have never spent big. They'd
But
never
surely
do
he's
spend
gone there
big.
with a
You spent
little...
100 million in the summer, Dave.
I don't think, yeah.
Come on, man.
Jose
Let's
Mourinho.
start
But,
to
Do you know what I mean?
that.
Compared to what you're talking about, like Man City, like Arsenal, Man United, them boys are spending. They're spending a lot of money. Oh, great ball, Kevin.
Oh, hello.
What's the ball? Jesus, is he going for that shot again?
Good block.
Right.
Well
This seems
done.
like a perfect opportunity to get our first price boost in then, because that was Jesus with the missed opportunity. Jesus to score first.
I like that.
To score before 30 minutes even. Now 8-1 odds accurate at the time of recording. Go to skybet.com for more details. You have to be 18 plus to play along. T's and C's apply, of course. And yeah, Jesus, he's probably looked the most threatening player for Manchester City so far. Sterling's worked his way into the box, nicely a couple of times. Paul Pogba pictured there in the stands. Do we think he's going to be a Manchester United player much longer, lads?
Nope.
I don't think he will, off the basis of how the media, how it seems Manchester United have treated him and how he's perceived in the media as well. A player wants to be happy, and I don't think he's happy at United at the moment for obvious reasons. But I hope he does become, a legend at United, but we'll see.
I have no issue with United selling any player.
Oi, Rashford!
That's a pen! That's a pen! He's taking it out!
VAR! Where is VAR?
Oh, that's a pen!
Oh, VAR's not
got to be a
working?
pen!
I think
Check
happened
it.
there. They haven't plugged in the VAR cable.
VAR, it's got to be.
That looked
like
That's not going to be clear and obvious, though, is it?
No, I think that's it.
So
No,
they're not
checking
referring...
it. I think that's a penalty.
Let's just clarify.
First look,
That looks like he's caught it.
Look.
Let's
He's
clarify
got
the
like
situation
3
now,
City
lads.
players around him.
That's not a penalty.
It's a penalty.
Thank you.
penalty.
Professional football player said it's a penalty. It's a penalty.
I think that's a penalty.
So Bernardo
just watch
Silva's come
Bernardo.
across Rashford and...
Come on, that's not a pen.
Yeah, but
Next
it's going
to
no,
leg.
it'll be checked. It'll be checked now.
I don't think he's touched the ball at all there,
He's not touched
Bernardo
it.
Silva.
That's
David
a-
Miner
and he's
thinks it's a
injured as
penalty.
well.
The Manchester United fan thinks it's a penalty.
It's
What
just- he's just-
are your
he's just-
thoughts, Will?
I
body
don't
checked
think
him.
it's a penalty.
You
don't?
don't think?
I think he's... the one from behind, it looked like he'd gone into him more, like he was trying to buy it a little bit. And I
looks
don't
like
think it's
he's-
clear and
he's tried
obvious.
to put his foot in front of him. And
No,
he's
wait,
cracked him in the
what
leg.
game are you watching?
Watching the one from...
Rashford's gone in a straight line. If you look at Bernardo,
Look,
Bernardo's staring at him. Rashford's looking at the ball.
Hang on, if you hear what I'm saying...
Penalty!
Is he giving it?
Of course he has.
I told you.
It looks...
Told you,
We'll
it's
clarify
clear and
this for you
obvious
in a
penalty.
second, guys. It looks
Bernardo-
like
Bernardo's
Anthony
looking
Taylor
at
might
Rashford.
have given it. Pep
Yeah,
Guardiola
He's
is
smiling, he's
fuming.
smiling. Yes, it's a penalty. It's a penalty.
No, but the thing is, Rashford's running. He's obviously knocked it by him. He's running straight
It's a
through.
penalty.
Bernardo comes out on his left, but he's not. He's looking straight at thing. He's
No,
running, he's
guys, I
body
need some
checking.
confirmation.com.
That's big,
It's
though.
not a penalty.
The big thing with that is, though, that they've
David.
overturned it.
Your
Yeah.
stat man.
Yeah, it's a penalty.
It's looking
100%.
fairly chaotic on the pitch, but the Manchester City player's looking extremely
card.
disgruntled, as was Pep.
Nah, it won't be a red card.
No, he can't be double jeopardy, can he? He'll get a yellow card max, but...
I think Fernandinho...
For me, that looks like the definition of a clumsy forward tackle.
Yeah.
Coming back into the box.
Strike, well, as we call it, striker's
Striker's
challenge.
challenge.
Yeah,
He's just
striker's
completely
challenge.
come across
We
him and
win this,
taken him
we'll
out.
win the
He's body checked him.
Yeah.
Clip that out, that's enough.
Eddie Howe in January.
Yes.
No context,
Yeah,
Pinheiro.
Rashford's first goal scorer.
And do you know what?
What did I say? Rashford goal?
had Rashford first goal scorer,
I'm a
2-1.
genius.
Hold on a minute. He's not even scored yet. He's not even put the ball on the spot.
Why'd you have to bring that negativity?
You know why? Because I took him out of my fantasy
I'm a
team.
psychic. If I'm a psychic.
I took him out yesterday.
Manchester
Yeah,
United fans
if
in the
Rashford
studio,
doesn't score this, I'm leaving my shoe here.
very short
Just one.
Very
Just
short
one.
memories.
Just
Your
one
penalty,
shoot.
your
I know,
penalty
he's
success.
missed a few.
No.
Rate has been patchy this season.
Quick. Where's he going?
Side net and left.
Bottom left. Ash. Quick.
He's going down the middle.
Oh, no.
He's
going down the middle.
Come on! It's going right.
Side net and left,
Where's
middle.
he going? David, where's he going?
Top right. He'll open the body up.
Come on,
low.
Rushy.
Top right
This
corner.
is to put yourself in that GOAT level.
Made his name in
Come
one
on,
of these
Rashford.
derbies.
Come on, Rushy.
Rashford, a.k.a.
God.
Ronaldo and Thierry Henry combined.
Right.
That's the curse there, Harry.
There you go. Bottom left, like I told you guys.
Yes!
United!
Come on,
Give me a hug! Give me a hug! Rashford!
Come on!
I told you guys. I said
Yes!
first goal scorer. I did warn ya. Me and Statman knew what was going on.
Marcus Rashford's form continues, and his fine form, I should say,
Yes!
with the opening goal in this game, which means Harry Pinheiro
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
Do you know what? I took him out of my fantasy team.
Are you
I've made some
fuming?
poor calls this weekend. Poor calls.
Rashford, you're an elite player.
I'm getting-
Elite player. Do you know what? I want to publicly say sorry to Marcus Rashford for all my tweets when he wasn't scoring well. I apologise. You are the main man.
Did anyone see this happening? You said prior to the game, Harry, it was essential United got the first goal because if
I
City
said
did,
so.
it would have been a very long, long day.
Yeah.
So how is this going to play out now?
Okay.
Are Man United going to be happy to hold on to the lead?
I think
we have to keep going for it.
I think because City are going to come at us now, we just need to soak up as much pressure as possible and rely on the counter.
You can't.
No,
you
when
can't
I mean soak up the
that
pressure, I don't mean as in like relax, but just allow it to come because we know it's going to come. But
You have to. This is obviously my opinion. You got to play the exact same way you were playing.
Yeah.
You can't soak it up because you're counter-attacking, you're creating chances. You got to keep going.
We're not good enough defensively to
Are you
soak up
seeing
pressure
how
for now
much players
70
are in
minutes.
That should give the team a big lift.
There you go.
But it also could wake City up.
It could massively wake them up. Yeah.
Well, it didn't look like.
Well, if you think that City are not scoring today, you got another thing coming.
It didn't look like they needed it.
Might be one of those
City were
days, mate.
finding their rhythm, and then all of a sudden Manchester United with the penalty.
Great defending.
That man Rashford again. Of course, you've got him in your bet as well. First goal scorer. Will, let's not discount your 3-3, mate.
You know what? I always discount my bet because it's just never going to happen. But
Yeah, you were looking at me like you were looking at me there like I was telling you that information for the first time. That's not the case. As Manchester City take this corner, let's have some more questions, mate.
Yes, plenty flying in thick and fast. Get your questions in using the hashtag TFS at Football Daily, at Soccer AM. And this is a question from...
See what I'm talking about this counter and how great it is.
Harry's hand been shot then.
Do you know what it is?
Oh my God!
Oh, he's fallen.
Go on! There you go, Fred!
Fred!
Describe it
Use
fast,
your
Harry.
brain. Rashford there!
It's Fred against Stones.
Rashford's there!
Rashford's in!
Rashy! Rashy boy!
Terrible.
What a chance!
Rashy boy!
What a break!
Oh, could that be a
I
seminal
love
moment in the
Paintbrush
game?
on that, no.
Ash, break down this attack for us, mate.
Daniel James, do you know what?
fantastic pass.
Kyle Walker's slipped and it's let Lingard have the ball deep in our half and he's picked out Fred and it's just Fred and Rashford against 4 City defenders. Fred's picked the perfect pass to Rashford and he's come onto it, he's opened his body up but he just got it completely wrong. He's not got the
reckon he
bend on
could've
it and
taken a
it's
chance?
not come back in.
Come on.
That's a chance.
He needed the Henri. He needed
that
open
finesse.
Yeah.
R2.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Aaron Wan-Bissaka is one of the greatest recovery defenders I've seen in a while because he's able to get the ball in the most crazy situations. You know, he's a spider.
Apparently that was like in the scouting, that's what they look for. They look for a defender that could actually
He
recover
has players
really quickly.
in their web.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
That's terrible. Please stop him.
That was awful. Have we got any questions that can quickly segue out of that one?
Yeah, I'll get you out of there quickly, Chris. Zlatan's moving back to AC Milan. What do we think of that? Is it
that confirmed?
Yeah. Is it wasted that he's going to Italy? Would we have liked to see him?
Is it wasted he's going to one of the top 5 divisions at age 38? That's very damning. Very damning of AC Milan.
Just because we're Premier League.
Would we like to see him back in the Premier League then, or do we think no? He's probably beyond you at this point.
That's an elite
Big character. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
He's the kind of player you want on the pitch. It's like Mourinho. You want him involved in the Premier League because, like, whether you like him or dislike him, he's a character.
Martial's got the ball out wide. There's a ball on to Lingard.
Oh, come on.
Rashford, edge of the box.
Oh,
he's in the ball! He's in the ball! Oh my God!
Rashford is world class. I've said it today and I mean it with my heart.
That's crown paint. That.
He is something else.
Is that paintbrush? Is that paintbrush? Is that close to paintbrush?
Well, they usually pay him.
Usually
a volley
like
to paintbrush.
Manchester United play football
He's just,
today.
do you know what it is? He's just stopped the
One
ball.
touch,
He's
beam.
gone for the R2 shoot.
That is-
My God.
all the
confidence.
FIFA analogies. Right, so that was a similar opportunity to the one before, but he's not fluffed it there, Ash. What's happened?
The ball's come across to Rashford. He's killed the ball on the edge of the box with the sole of his foot. And I love it when players do that and just open up his body, gone for top corner, it's hit the bar. Edison's not even moved. That is so unlucky. It should be 2-0 United.
No,
Do you know what? It should be 3-0.
Yeah.
We've created enough chances.
He could have had a hat-trick in 27 minutes.
Yeah.
Then Will's bet might have actually been on.
Yeah.
Which has never been said before on this show, ever.
This is extreme. I mean, Manchester City have been a little bit more porous this season, haven't they? But they're looking extremely vulnerable right now, and they're playing into Manchester United's hands as we approach the half-an-hour mark. Gabriel Jesus, of course, has 2 minutes to score to fulfil that earlier bet. This is Manchester City are in disarray. You love to see it, to be frank, because we're all talking about this game like it was a foregone conclusion, apart from the Manchester United fans.
I love it. Do you know what? I always say that. Support your team, back your team.
Man United away as well, probably the best away support in the league.
The Bridge game when we played them in the League Cup, and our fans were relentless from start to finish. We're amazing, but this is crazy. This is what United fans have been wanting to see all season.
You know what?
Run on him.
We're doing what we did against Spurs. We're winning every second ball at the moment. City can't
give it to him. Someone show
contain
for
the
him,
pace.
please.
They are really missing Fernandinho in defensive midfield.
I completely agree.
I'd go one more. You're winning every second ball, but you're winning every first ball.
James.
Every third ball.
the Scots would say, I can't even believe it.
Oh my God,
Completely unrelated to Martial scoring there. Harry's gone
Ferguson! Ferguson!
Yes, Grandad. Yes, we're doing it for you, Grandad. Oh, I love this.
And of course, if Manchester United win today, Liverpool are 14 points ahead.
What's going on?
Martial,
I can't handle this.
He started it from the middle. And
oh my word! Martial's played out to James, and they've just kept it between both of them.
I don't know. I actually don't know how he squeezed that into where he's gone.
With his
Down the
weaker
left-hand
foot.
side as well, Angelina.
He's taken the keeper by surprise.
David, should Edison be doing better there?
It's not.
You'd be the first person to cry, Harry.
You can't get beaten on your inside
Martial
post.
does not score many
do you know
with
what
his
the problem
left.
is? Do you watch Ederson,
I can't
right?
believe this.
If it shows that angle again, he plants his feet.
Yeah.
And he can't
What are you
get
saying,
back.
David? Sorry, go on.
He can't. He moves his feet and he can't push off to get back for it. But do you know what? United fully deserve to be ahead here. Yeah,
for sure.
Fully
Thank
do.
you, David.
They've been much better.
I like you, you know.
It could
I really
quite,
do.
No, I'm honest. I'm realistic.
It could quite easily be 4-1 at this point. If you're only just tuning in right now, then, and you're not a member of Team FD, subscriber, I should say, don't have a membership scheme. We should do. We might in the future. Then hit that subscribe button right now and get your questions into Will so he can ask the guys in the studio. 2-0 Manchester United. Martial's 6th goal of the season. Will, are the comments on fire, mate? Like
There's sheer disbelief in this comment section. I don't think anybody saw this coming. People are losing their absolute minds.
Mind you, right?
Go on.
Still got an hour to go.
Yeah.
I completely
And
agree.
City have been bad. United have been very good.
A healthy dose of reality there from David Marler.
Yes.
Nice, we needed
If
that
this
in the
was
studio.
if this was 70 minutes, I'd be like, we might as well just grab our coats and go. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause you'd expect United to go on.
This game last season, Man City were 2-0 up, and look what happened. I don't want to put a water on your bonfire.
Don't like you, Will.
That was the season before.
Yeah.
Last season they beat us comfortably.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Home and away as well.
Yeah, home and away.
City actually haven't had an effort on target, and United have had 5.
Do you know what?
out
It's
of
just
7.
such basic stuff, though.
Yeah.
Like, Fernandinho is not he's not a centre-half. He's like one of the best in the world as a holding midfielder. Like, the pace of the front three of Man United is causing him and Stones all sorts of problems. Angelino, like you highlighted, is too far up the pitch. Walker's too far up the pitch. That's just the way City play. They dominate with Rodri dropping back in, and they're just getting caught time after time on the counter-attack. And like you say, James, Rashford, Martial, their pace. Like, Rashford should have a hat-trick. He's had, like... He was very unlucky hitting the bar, but the chances he's had...
How often do you even see a team bypass that Manchester City midfield? And it's happened 3 or 4 times here. Jesse Lingard, obviously, essential to build up in this opening half an hour. Manchester City on the attack, though. What did you make of Lingard's inclusion when you saw it in the lineup? Do you think it made sense, tactically speaking?
It's what you call it. It's high energy. Like, that's what he's gone for. He wants him to work hard. Like, even Lingard, he's probably not as quick as the other 3, but he's still very quick. Do you know what I mean? So they've got a very quick, front 4. Then you take McTominay, Fred, just sit there, don't move. You're like the whole of midfielders. Pick up Silva and De Bruyne, make sure they can't get on the ball, and give the ball to the other 4, leave them go happen.
I think that's the key thing. It's making Rodri work the other way rather than being able to dominate the ball and go forward and bring KDB and Silva into it. I think as much stick as Lingard gets, he's very good at picking up his positions in between lines. He doesn't always do the best thing with it, but he's done it today. He's been in those positions time and time again. He's been found by McTominay and Fred, and he's causing City a lot of problems at the moment.
I think, what Dave says is correct. I mean, he does bring energy, and when we're countering a lot right now, and I think we needed Lingard to be kind of the focal point of all of that. But yeah, he's doing a great job. And he does this like I said before, he does this in all the top games. He's done it again at Arsenal when he done the moonwalk. So he's been, sorry, I had to add that in there. But yeah,
he won the moonwalk, though. What's the other thing? What's it called? It's the moonwalk.
Michael
Jackson. Oh, yeah, did the Millie Rock as well.
Yeah.
Just get to half-time. That's what we're going to do now.
It's just a lovely tackle from Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and that's sort of the defensive solidity you didn't have down that side without him. He's kept Sterling, who has been Pep Guardiola's go-to guy, under wraps here, hasn't he? But if Manchester City get a goal before half-time even, then you'd imagine it's game on.
Absolutely.
All right.
But it still is game on. Do you know what I mean? This City team...
But the mentality of Manchester United is a little bit more fragile right now than it has been in recent years. And if they concede at half-time... I would say, if they concede before half-time, I'd back a City.
That's how Man United can see goals this season.
But it's amazing, the 2 lads who are Man U fans, after the first goal went in, like, soak up the pressure, 2-0 up, and you've not said it once. Do you know what I mean? You know deep down that like City like can get back into this.
Yeah.
So
But
like
the reason why I said so got the pressure was a simple fact of I don't think City are gonna.
David Silva.
I don't think City are not gonna. They're gonna keep coming at us, and we know that. So we just need to soak that up because there's nothing we can do against them having possession. However, we have a very fast front three, and that's what we've showed. The minute they lose the ball, we're off, and I think that's the only thing that we've got against them at the moment.
Feels like a fairly obvious question. I'm going to ask it to my fellow Manchester City fans on this side of the studio. How much is City missing Sergio Aguero now, or do you think it wouldn't really have made a difference?
well, I'll firstly stop you by I'm not a Man City fan. That's my wife's side of the family.
Well, for the purpose of this stream, you are. All right, just play along, David, mate. Come on.
Yeah, look, Aguero. Like, I don't know if you saw it after Jesus scored 2 goals against Burnley. He came out after and he said, whenever I play or I get the chance to play, I need to score.
Yeah.
Because anytime Aguero plays, he scores. That's how they think of him. He's just capable of winning a game on his own.
What a ball.
Lovely ball from KDB into...
Poor ball from Walker, though, into the box.
Kyle Walker there, but David De Gea just eating it up. Will, did you take Aguero out of your team because he's been struggling with injuries of late as he dropped out of your fantasy football team?
Big money move for me. I bought in Aubameyang into Meadow Park FC.
Free your legs, close them, toilet.
He's not been cutting the mustard, Chris.
Okay.
Toilet. He's really not done it, Aubameyang.
But that's the problem. Pep's a nightmare for fantasy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he loves the rotation.
I mean, and today, what's Klopp doing?
No, but I read that during the week. You know, left out Firmino and Salah.
No, you still had Mane in, didn't you?
Yeah, but I didn't put captain.
Well, what are you reading? Because you need to send it over to me.
No, because I had to keep but I had to keep him in because, like I said a while ago at the start of the show, 5 of my friends have him as captain. So if they're going to get double points on him, I need to make sure at least I'm getting.
Oh, what a ball!
That is an amazing
Manchester United
ball.
on the attack again, and that was much more potent than City's with Kyle Walker, wasn't it? So what happened there, Ash?
That was Aaron Wan-Bissaka bursting forward, playing out to Dan James, and that is the famous corridor of uncertainty he's put the ball into there.
Yeah, Angelino, not a member of that corridor. Where is he? Where was he in that situation?
I told you, focus on that left side. Fernandinho and Angelino, they're not going to be able to handle Martial and Rashford, Martial and James's pace.
It's a yellow card.
Chris, one comment on the stream that I think sums it up is from that's Adam. He says, I'm a Man United fan and I've just tuned in and I thought the scoreline was the wrong way round. I think that's
Adam, believe.
No, you can rely on
Dream,
us
believe,
to get the
achieve.
score correct on this show, Adam. And if, unlike Adam, you're not a subscriber, then please hit that subscribe button right now.
That's one job.
We'll be staying with this game. 36 minutes in. It's pretty much all Manchester United at the moment in terms of creating chances, significant chances. Manchester City have sort of wrestled possession away from them, as you would have predicted, but not doing an awful lot with it. Is there an awful lot going on in the comments below?
What a ball.
Yes, people are thinking it's going to be a very high-scoring game. Epic Gamer says, if Man United go into half-time with the lead, I can see Man United coming out and maybe getting 3 goals to their advantage and maybe score as many goals as us. So, Chris, what people are generally saying is my 3-3 could be on.
Wow.
Another question's in from Martin. He says, what has changed in this past week? Obviously, 3-3 to Sheffield United, 2-2 to Villa. Everyone was writing them off against Spurs, and now they're 2-0 up against Man City. What has changed? Because the players haven't changed. The manager's not changed.
The opposition has changed.
But it's higher calibre.
Yeah. I think for me, what's changed is that they've realised that Ollie's job was at risk. And I think they really like these guys. They really like Ollie. And on top of that, it hasn't actually just been all Ollie's fault. It's been players. They've been playing really
what ball.
Hello.
Oh, wow. What chance.
And that was Gabriel Jesus' chance to end that 10-game streak. I'm not sure if it was eventually flagged offside, but missing with a flicked header from about 8 yards out. That was a great ball in from KDB.
Whipped it in.
He's the best at that, picking up that position, almost
Wan-Bissaka
parallel with the box.
How dare I even ask who whipped that ball in? Of course it was KDB.
He's put in your corridor, Ash.
He's putting the corridor of uncertainty.
Well, just to tap into what Dave said there, I mean, it sounded fairly obvious, the opposition's changed, but like Will pointed, pointing to its higher calibre. Are you better set up against the bigger teams? Are you just struggling to break down deep blocks, against the teams that are going to set off you?
United have always played good counter-attacking football. If you look at the history, we've always had counter-attacking football.
Is that concerning, though, that you're almost better against the big sides?
Yes.
No, it is, but then it does also show that we can beat the big teams, regardless of what players that we have. It's just consistency. I think consistency's just been our problem. We haven't been consistent enough. Hopefully this is something we can start from, because we beat Tottenham. We're beating City 2-0 at home, which is a lot of people didn't think that would be able to happen. So, I mean, it's a good basis for us to start on and finish off the season strongly. because Ollie he's a nice man. I just don't know if he was given the support from the players, but now it seems that they have. So.
Okay. I mean, you're both still firmly Ollie in because, of course, the Pochettino rumours are perpetual, aren't they? That haven't stopped. Oh. And it's a free kick for Man City in a very dangerous position.
Dangerous.
Was that Wan-Bissaka on Sterling, the actual challenge?
It was,
before?
right on the edge of the box.
So right on the edge of the box, on the left-hand side of the pitch, on the corner. But Pochettino's available now, and you feel like if this was the case when Ollie was caretaker manager, he might not be manager right now.
Yeah.
So would you boys, I mean, it'd be a bold decision, but say he'd lost against Tottenham, he'd lost against Manchester City. If he loses against Manchester City, sorry, touch wood that he doesn't, lads. Would you be baying for Poch?
So, I think Poch is a better manager than Solskjaer, and he always will be. But I think you can't discount what Solskjaer has done for you. If you're not a United fan, you don't see a lot. You think, oh, they drew with Villa, drew with Sheffield United, they're not great.
So, hitting the top of the net.
We've said Lukaku would have probably scored a lot of goals this season for us, but he did things at the end of last season that were really disrespectful towards the club, and I think it's the right decision to get someone like that out of the team.
So what has been the biggest change under him then for the uninitiated? Is it just wrestling some power away from the players?
It's power away from the players. It's pride in, I know it sounds so cliche, but it's pride in wearing the United shirt again and kind of holding yourself to a certain standards. Like when we were under Mourinho, we had one of the lowest distance in terms of kilometres covered on the pitch. And now we are back to being one of the highest again. And as David was saying before, it's like a prerequisite as a footballer that you cover the ground, that you put the work in. And they just weren't doing it under Mourinho, and they've brought that discipline back under Solskjaer. Now, that's not going to win you titles necessarily. You need the quality on top of that. But you can see with the players he's brought in, he's trying to bring the right kind of players to United in Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, James. If we continue to have 2 or 3 good transfer windows, he could build a very good side.
Do you agree with looking to the past in order to build Manchester United's future? Because he has been pretty insistent on continuing the Manchester United way, which is kind of blooding youngsters, playing counter-attacking football with the emphasis on sort of wide players as well, hence why Daniel James is getting all these minutes at the start of the season. Or do you think that that's going to limit the club? How progressive do you think that is, saying, oh, let's get back to the sort of football playing under Fergie? Because the Premier League's a different place now, right?
Exactly, I completely agree, because Fergie played a bank of 4 in midfield, and you can't really do that every week anymore, because you have teams like City who have 3 in midfield. So you have to be fluid enough to be reactive to other teams and have plans B, C and D rather than just a one plan.
Got that now?
I'd love to think so. I don't know if he has. I think Pochettino might, but I don't know if Ollie has, but he hasn't got the players for the plan Bs and Cs at the moment. And don't forget, we're still without Pogba, who is technically our best footballer. He could make a difference if he wants to come. If he comes back and he wants to play for the club, he could be our best player again and improve our season. Kind of keep going.
I think him seeing this right now, the way we're playing right now, he would be watching that, thinking, I can't wait to get into that team again.
We'd hope so, right?
I'd ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
If Pogba was playing today, would you think your team would play the same way?
That's a very good question.
Because, so Pogba's fit and available. Who does he come in for?
Lingard right now.
Yeah.
Okay, but
You'd hope so.
The work Lingard is doing after, we're just hitting 42 minutes. The work Lingard has done with the front 3 so far. Pogba's not going to do that for you.
I agree, but then I think the whole game plan would be totally different with Pogba playing in that.
Would that be to the detriment of the side, though, I think David's saying?
Yeah, it would. I totally agree. I totally agree, but I
formation.
believe that it's a devil's advocate, because it's like when Pogba's out, we've had to change our whole way of playing because he's out of the team. But then now we're getting results. So it's like, do we change that because Pogba's a better player? We can't have Pogba on the bench. It makes no sense if our best player is on the bench. So it's a tough one, but.
He was your top chance creator last season by a country mile. I think it was 55, which was still 20 less than someone like who's the top? I think
KDB?
No, KDB
No,
didn't get off a lot of minutes last season.
That's amazing.
Then I think your
Maddison?
Sadio Mane, sorry. But that's kind of to be expected because you were a dysfunctional side last season, weren't you? But
it'd be nice.
So
that is being nice. Let's have it right. Let's go to the comments. Do they get any nicer, or are they a little bit more, condemning at the moment of well, it's hard to be condemning of Solskjaer given they're currently winning 2-0. But what do the guys in the comments think? Let's have a little group discussion in the comments. Would you welcome Poch into the club right now, United fans, at the cost of Ollie? Which feels a little bit harsh because they are 2-0 up. But You know,
the dream scenarios.
Football fans have a fickle, aren't they?
Yeah, the dream scenario is for Ollie to stay at the club in some capacity. I know it's stupid to say it, but as a director of football, I don't know if that would ever happen under Woodward. But that is the dream scenario, I think, for a lot of
you can't think like he's going to go from manager, like as in.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
We're going to get a better, like a so-called better manager in.
I agree.
You're out.
I agree. It's a dream scenario, but I don't think it will happen.
Yeah, do you feel that's United fans just kind of not wanting to part ways with Ollie because he's a club legend, but also realising that their chances of becoming a dominant force in English football with him at the helm are probably limited again?
Yeah, I think it is limited. It is because he's the club legend, but it's also because of, well, in my opinion, what he's doing for the
Man City are in.
What he's doing for. That's a chance.
It's starting to look a little bit frantic for United at the end of this
44 minutes,
isn't it? So how's it been playing out the last five minutes?
It's been all City.
Yeah, it's been all
City. City have been more dominant. They look like they really want to get a goal before half-time. I think if they don't get one, it's going to be a bit detrimental for them to try and get back. If they do get a goal back now, then I think there's going to be more belief in the team that they can actually win this game again.
Oh, he's done very well, KDB.
Chris, you asked the lovely Football Daily audience to get their responses in on Poch, and as I'm looking at it, it's an overwhelming no at the moment to Poch.
Interesting.
What
difference a result makes, eh?
No, I don't even think it's the result. I think it's the fact that Solskjaer has been at United like for years, like in and around the club as a player and now as a manager. He knows the club, he knows the people, he knows the fans. Like, you look at when Mourinho was manager, you know the ex-pros who do, you know, the punditry with Sky and what have you, like your Nevilles, like your Scholeses, they don't jump on the bandwagon on Solskjaer. All they keep saying is, like, originally when he came in, they said he needs 3 or 4 transfer windows to kind of clear out
the deadwood.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, you can say that. Obviously, use a different word.
Deadwood and Woodwood would be good to get rid of.
So they're talking about obviously clearing out that and getting in Man United type players. You look at Dan James, they didn't sign him, like this is my opinion, they didn't sign him for the impact he's had now. They were thinking this is a lad we're going to have for the next 8 to 10 years. But all of a sudden, it's not been going well. He's in and he's been, you know, he's been one of your standout players.
Brilliant.
Like Wan-Bissaka, of course, was signed to go straight in as right back because like Ashley Young is obviously getting older and like he's done an incredible job considering like he was a number 10 and a winger. And he's playing right back, left back for Man United.
I actually watched the game last week with Rio Ferdinand on a sofa in Old Trafford. I'll tell you offline about that. But
he was a good embodiment of where the club are at right now, Manchester United.
Wait there. Can I just catch that name?
Little name. No, down with David Milner, so it's getting better and better. But he was saying when he was playing, obviously they had leaders throughout that team, and you look at the Man United team now. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a seasoned pro, but that you wouldn't. Who's the standout leader in that Manchester United team?
Do we overplay that narrative? Like, how essential is it in a dressing room to have
huge.
3 or 4 people that are going to ensure standards are maintained?
Huge.
And who were they when you were playing?
It's like if you look at Man United, their history, right? Forget about my time. Brian Robson, right? Those, right? Big characters.
Manchester City are in here. That is some really nice interplay with Kyle Walker on the edge of the box. He's accusing Fred of handball.
He looks guilty.
Fred looks
so guilty. He looks so guilty.
He's giving it the old Martial.
Yeah.
That was a guilty
Is that
one.
handball?
Yeah.
Lovely play with KDB.
Walker's tried to slide it across.
No,
that's handball. That's handball.
Absolute
He's put his hands behind his back and then he's moved his hand back.
That's going to be a penalty in the 47th minute. City are going to get a penalty.
This could be a hugely decisive moment in the Manchester City versus Manchester United game. It's gone to VAR.
It's because
he had his hands behind his back, David, and he's
like this, and then he goes like that, and then he goes, oh, hello. He brings it back.
Yeah, but he's put his hand down to stop himself from...
Give it a corner.
He's giving it.
What, even after the consultation?
Thierry Henry Carragher moment again.
That's mental.
David, is that a penalty?
Blow the whistle, ref.
I think
Thank you.
from the he's there, then I don't think it's like a penalty.
Yeah.
But it's because he kind of goes to put him behind his back to say, like, I'm getting my hands out of the way, and then it's suddenly like.
If he just looks
very quickly then, guys. Penalty, go on. Penalty or not?
Yeah, penalty, 100%.
Also, why? Give us a little reason.
Literally blocks the cross with his hand.
Penalty? Or can you see why it's not been given?
I can see why it's not been given, but it's just the motion of his hands in the sense that he's put them behind his back and then it's kind of crept back out and it's hit his hand. So, like, it stopped the ball getting where... I don't know. Look, handball is... Nobody knows what handball is anymore.
2-0 a fair reflection of the efforts at half-time, lads. What do you think, starting with you, Ash?
A reflection of the half?
Yeah.
I could not be happier. We're winning 2-0 at the Etihad, and I can't believe it.
Is that a scoreline a fair reflection of what you've seen?
Actually, yes, I think it is.
Yeah.
And I've got the slightest bit of disappointment that we haven't got a third.
Yeah.
Because we've been the better team in that we've had better chances, created more chances against a good City team.
Just got away without conceding a penalty and you want a third, Ash.
I want a
You want
third.
your cake and to eat it,
We're
mate. What
winning
about you,
this.
Harry?
I think Dave touched on it earlier. It could have been 3-0. We could have scored way more goals, and the fact that we're actually winning, I think, is a true reflection of how the game's gone. City have had, some chances, but nothing threatening like what we have.
Exactly what I was just saying. I asked you a question. Tell me what chances City have had.
Yeah, you can't remember it.
The only one I remember is Sterling,
The
like
Jesus
a long
header?
distance,
Yeah.
right? Sterling or Silva long range shot, and I was going to say, and the Jesus header.
Yeah.
Then you think of like Rashford hitting the bar, the one where we've said he's gone for the Henry, James.
Martial had a shot as well.
Yeah, there's been like Man United have had better chances.
It's key for us.
One thing I must say
Sit
about
back.
Fred, he breaking up play, he's so amazing at doing it. That's one thing which I have to give it to him.
Nah, fair play. So we're all in agreement that United deserve the 2-goal margin, let's say, whether or not it should be 3-1 or 2-0, up for debate owing to that penalty incident at the end. We all definitely had different opinions on our bets at the start of the game, so let's have a quick reflection on them. So,
Come on, baby! Harry's one.
Mine's not happening. Neither is David's. Harry's is still on, as is Ash.
I originally said 4-2.
Obviously, all the odds you see on screen are accurate at the time of recording and subject to change. See skybet.com for details. More details even. You have to be 18 plus to play along. But if you'd like to, we still have 3 bets in contention. Very well done to you chaps. Egg on our face, the pro City guys over here.
Yeah.
So, we got any questions to keep us ticking over at half-time before we go to
Yes, we have...
recap on some of the previous games?
Yeah, stepping away from the 2 Manchester clubs. Obviously, Arsenal are without a manager, and I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on who do you think
Good question.
be taking the helm at the Gooners?
It's another big, deep in.
Yes.
Firstly, I don't think Pochettino will take over.
Yeah.
I think he's got that too much love for.
But you've
Spurs.
got to go to Levy, haven't you, to get Pochettino if you want him this season as well, haven't you? Because there's that rumour going around that you've got to pay 12.5 for Poch to get him out of his contract.
First I've heard of that. They said Allegri, but Allegri has said that he's learning English at the moment and he doesn't want a job till the summer.
Yeah.
So that kind of like he's ruled himself out. Then you kind of look around and think like, what other managers are available?
Have you been at a club where a manager's coming in January? Because it must be fairly unappealing to come in like halfway through a season to try and rescue a season.
Yeah, we had Marco Silva came in at Hull and he was incredible. Changed the whole, changed everything. He was incredible. And if we even said like if we had Marco from earlier on in the season, we could probably stayed up that year.
What have you made of his sacking at Everton?
I feel for him because like I loved playing for him, loved working for him. So you kind of like I have this thing where I want to see people like that do well and like. I would probably question some of the transfers he made. That probably, it's very hard to like spend this big money. Like you look at Moise Keane, he was a young lad at Juventus, like playing here, there, and everywhere. Not like a regular starter, and then to come to the Premier League and thinking like, can you expect this player to explode and be incredible? Do you mean I think Iwobi, that he's fine because he's tried and tested in the Premier League, but like it's just hard, it's difficult. But if you're not getting results, then you're going to lose your job. And unfortunately, they weren't. And do you mean you look at Big Dunk? Big Dunk comes in, they win today. Do you know what I mean? Give him the job.
Cutthroat business indeed. A quick reminder of the other results from today. So, talking of Big Dunk, Everton beat Chelsea 3-1 in his first game in charge. David's Liverpool smashing Bournemouth 3-0. Tottenham beating Burnley, like we said before. Sean Dyche not enjoyed the greatest week at the helm of Burnley, conceding 9 goals. And Watford drawing with Crystal Palace. Watford were in dire need of 3 points, weren't they, after losing to Southampton. And we're currently, 2 goals to the good for the Manchester United fans in the studio. Let's have a look at some of the reactions from those managers in earlier fixtures.
Harry, many congratulations. I mean, a wonderful performance. 4 of the 5 goals spectacular, but which is the one you think that the fans will be walking home talking about and in fact, probably talking about for years to come?
I think Sonny's one. I think he stole the thunder today. But no, what a fantastic goal. Unbelievable run. Loads of energy, good counter-attack. And yeah, really, really good performance today. We were disappointed with how we played in midweek. So we wanted to bounce back, give the fans something to cheer about early, and obviously getting an early goal always helped. And then, we was on it. Little spell where we dropped a little bit deep, but then second half we kind of kept the line up and then finished it off.
How was your day at the office?
Really enjoyed it. The second game in charge, and two very good sides, two different sides, and the way we prepared the team, we had to prepare it differently. The challenge at Leicester was completely different to the challenge today. We were, Leicester away from home. We wanted to try and keep it a bit tighter, and we wanted to press differently. And today we felt that we had to be more attacking. Try and press on the front foot, try and, play higher up in areas, and, really enjoyed it.
Jurgen, another impressive victory. Was that perhaps a little bit easier than you'd anticipated this afternoon?
No, it was not easy. It was very difficult. The boys made a lot of good decisions, and that's why at the end it was a comfortable win, with, maybe more than we would have expected before the game. But Bournemouth in a difficult situation, then losing two key players during the game with Ake and later with Wilson. That's of course you get then a feeling it's not a Bournemouth day obviously today. So, but we scored wonderful goals. We really had other big chances. And the result is obviously most important, and we had, but the performance was really good as well. It was in the second half, especially, really professional, really mature. That's what we have to be in the moment, and it's not about being then constantly exciting. It's about doing the right stuff. Pass the ball there. If they don't attack us, then pass the ball around until there's a gap. Pass the ball through. Try to score. That's what we did. So not a lot of difficult moments to defend. That's good. That was very important, and nearly perfect day.
Jose, how would you sum up a wonderful afternoon for you?
Yeah, everything was really good because we managed finally a clean sheet. Still a few holes, still a few chances to opposition, but much more solid. High intensity pressing for the majority of the time, really solid. And then with the ball, we were phenomenal. We moved the ball so well, so fast. We create so many chances. We scored so many beautiful goals. I think was really good. And let me also praise the referee, because normally when we speak about referees, we speak in a negative way. And when I see the fourth goal is only possible with a great referee that understands the game, that has the feeling, advantage, and doesn't stop it. And then Harry scores a wonderful goal. So it's also time to be what sometimes they need us to be. When they are good, we must tell that they're really good.
Sean, what's your verdict on your afternoon there?
Well, it wasn't an enjoyable one, that's for sure. We didn't really start with the edge that you need. We made too many bad decisions, and they capitalised on virtually every bad decision. I don't think it was a strange game, actually. I think we gave away the ball 5 times, and they scored from all 5 counters. And I think when you catch these top sides in that kind of mood, then they can do that. It's unlikely they do it every time, but they did today.
Eddie, clearly a difficult afternoon on a number of fronts for you. Let's start, though, with the injuries. How crucial was that and the timing of that with Nathan Ake?
Yeah, it's difficult to know, because at that moment in the game we were okay. Don't get me wrong, Liverpool had threatened a couple of times, but we'd looked solid and had a decent shape about us. But then the goal coincides straight away with Nathan going off. So obviously it's affected us maybe more mentally than actually in the game. But we never really recovered from that moment.
It is a difficult and awkward time that you're going through. How important is it you keep a strong mentality at this moment in time?
Well, always in the difficult moments, that's where you need the mentality the most. And we have to be very resolute at the moment. We have to almost shut out the noise from the outside and just concentrate on what we're doing. But we're getting kicked when we're down at the moment, obviously with Nathan's injury today, and then with Callum's. I don't know how bad it is, but Callum looked like he was struggling. And with the amount of injuries we have behind the scenes, we're getting kicked when we're down, and that's where it's equally tough for us.
Yeah, it's great to hear there from Eddie Howe, of course, not enjoying the best time of it at the moment. Long been touted for a bigger job, let's say. No disrespect to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Arsenal job is obviously available. Would you like to see him somewhere like the Emirates? Does he deserve it? Because a lot of people still doubt him.
Personally, I think he's a great manager. With what he's done for Bournemouth in the Premier League, kept them as a top 10 team. They play good football. We've seen many upsets when teams go to their ground. I think Arsenal would be a good test for him because they've actually, sacked their manager at the moment and they don't have anyone. He's proven in the Premier League, and I think he'll be able to make them play good football. The players he's got at Bournemouth, the Arsenal players are way much better. I think it'll be good for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's always put together a very competent attack. It's whether he can do that with a defence is the issue, I suppose, and that is the issue, prevailing issue at Arsenal now. He's an Everton fan, Ash. Would Everton be a good fit?
Oh, is he? I didn't know he was an Everton fan.
Neither did I until they told me in the gallery about 7 seconds ago.
Did you do any research?
Yeah.
Absolutely uncalled for, David.
I'm
just going to skip you out after this, by the way.
I actually think, realistically, Everton's a better step than Arsenal in that he might be allowed more time to build a club there. Whereas Arsenal, it would be toxic after 2 games, 3 games if he doesn't win. You've seen what their fans are like. You've seen what their players are like, arguing with each other.
People go straight to the fans now. Do you think the fans have made it a much more untenable or more an appealing job?
I don't know, because I think all fans are vocal. Arsenal fans,
yeah, we are talking about them, yeah.
Yeah, I think they have a platform to be more vocal on, shall I say, is the best way of saying it. And a lot of people seem to view that content. And David, as a ex-pro, how do fan channels, how do they kind of affect players, and do they affect players? Is there some players don't care?
Of course. I remember speaking to my dad about social media, so your Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook. I remember years ago, back in 2010, I played against Portsmouth. I came on the game late on. We were 1-0 up, I believe. I was on the pitch about 40 seconds. I got a straight red, and I got bombarded with abuse on Facebook. Some of it was rightly deserved. I came on, got sent off after, like I said, 40 seconds. But then it starts getting personal. They go after your family or whatever, and then it kind of. But my dad said, just remove yourself from your Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook. Just get rid of it. Then you don't see it.
And how much pressure did that alleviate from you?
I never got rid of it because I could take it. Do you know what I mean? I got slaughtered. I still get slaughtered all the time off random different people.
Sorry about that, mate. As well.
But it's part and parcel of it. You know what I mean? As a footballer, you got to deal with it.
Yeah. You shouldn't have to deal with some of the stuff though. Like we talk about Arsenal, the kind of abuse that Xhaka has had to deal with. Whether you or not you agree with how he's handled himself on the pitch, off the pitch is so disproportionate to what he's done.
Part that probably. You don't know what's going on in Granit Xhaka's personal life.
Yeah.
Do you know, look, I hope everything is okay in that, and I have no idea. I've only played against him. I don't know him personally. You don't know. I've had stuff in my own personal life where, like I've spoken about it, so I don't really mind speaking about it. My wife had 3 miscarriages in a year, but she had our second miscarriage the morning I played an international game against Wales. Martin O'Neill and Roy Keane were the manager and assistant manager. They were telling me to go home to be with my wife. By the time I could have flown from Ireland back to England and got home, it would have been 7 o'clock in the evening, and she'd obviously been rushed to hospital at 11 o'clock in the morning. So when it got there, I made the decision to stay and ended up playing the game. Now, I did relatively okay in the game. They were happy with me, obviously, because of the circumstances, but nobody else knew that. There was the manager, the assistant manager, my father, my mother, and obviously my wife and her family. But nobody knew that. And I could have gone bombarded with abuse at that time. Nobody would have known no different. I only spoke about it 3 months ago for the first time in Ireland, and people were like, "Oh my God, I never realised," when they could have come after me. So that's when I touch on Granit Xhaka. He might have been going through something outside.
Yeah, and you'd hope that football fans actually start to develop that consideration before they start to abuse footballers.
Yeah, because you've got to think. The one thing that really annoys me is
it's more of a filter, isn't it?
Granit Xhaka wants to go out and perform well. He wants to go out and win. It's a great honour for him that he received the captain's armband. But obviously, it's been taken off him now, which became a big farce because it was, and
it took so long to appoint him in the first place, didn't it?
Yeah, but I have no problem with the players picking the captain because it's like Jordan Henderson became captain of Liverpool, Milner was vice captain, but then they picked, because the two of them missed a game, the players picked Virgil to be next. But that was never a big hoorah because Liverpool had been doing so well, but Arsenal became a bit of a hoorah when the players picked Xhaka, which the manager left it down to the players, because who do you want to be your leader? Who do you want to be the senior figure? And they picked him. So obviously that shows that the players respect him a lot.
Yeah. Talking of the players are back out and kick-off is underway. The Manchester United players making City wait an awfully long time there, and Pep Guardiola looking absolutely furious with the 4th official. It's very interesting what you mentioned there, David, and we will come back to it in a bit. Will, let's get you know, in the rhythm, let's have some quick fire questions to start this off, because we just heard from, you know, the managers in the games earlier today. Let's bring it back to Manchester City versus Manchester United.
Yes, the game in question. Max says, I thought the wheel might have come off, but I hope Ollie's wheel is back in place. Christina, already scaremongering. She says it all makes sense now. Guardiola wants to leave Man City to go to Barcelona. He knows he will have a big chance to do that. I mean, not just this game in general, but Pep doesn't normally have huge stints at clubs.
Well, it's usually, like, I know Barca, he was 5, but then Bayern was 3.
So we're getting into that territory.
This is, am I right in saying this is his 4th?
Yes.
Yeah,
He's won the last 2 and he won before.
He's won 8 league titles in 10 years as well.
Not bad.
What a
Absolutely
record.
ruthless. I mean, Valverde is not faring very well at Barcelona right now, and I don't think he'll last until the end of the year, and rightly so as well, given the talent he's got at his disposal. They're not playing very good football. Despite him being a league-winning manager, you know, he's been fine, but not what the Barcelona fans sort of demand. I don't know if Pep would go back.
Well,
at the moment, what do you think? Have you got another inside tip?
Yeah, I watch and read a lot of stuff, and they said when Pep became manager, he had a very close relationship with, like, the president of Barcelona, who left him have a free run. Well, a free reign rather than free run.
Yeah. Like Bartomeu's there now, and it's not.
Yeah, and he, what you call it, he actually, it was Pep's decision to get rid of Deco, Ronaldinho, Eto'o. He said out, and then there was a big thing where they ended up keeping Eto'o, but it was his decision, and he had full control. And you're, like, even the president at the time was a bit like, you're getting rid of three of the best players in Europe here, like, and he said, this is the way I want to go. And that man, I can't remember his name, it'll probably come to me eventually, but he's moved on. So I don't know what the higher powers are, and would they give him the same reign?
Yeah, 2 of them are at Manchester City right now. The infrastructure at City has been created to facilitate Pep, hasn't it? They've got Veglistan there. He came over from Barcelona to Manchester City. I don't think any other club in the world, even if they could gear themselves up to be more suited to Pep than Manchester City. And rumours are that he is going to sign a new contract and be there for a little bit longer than this current deal. He's always said he wants to manage internationally, hasn't he, as well? And go and manage Brazil. Well. Where would you like to see him next if he did move on? Yeah, really weird. He said he'd like to retire at Brazil.
I think for him, if he does leave City, I think it would be a disservice, and there'll be a lot of questions about him not being able to get the Champions League. They've spent a lot of money. You would think that they would be able to win it. So I think, for me personally, he should stay, but I think Spain would be a good job for him, simply because they've got a nice young generation of players coming through. And I
Luis
think
Enrique's just returned, though, right? Or are you talking about a couple of years' time?
I'm talking about a couple of years' time. I don't think he needs to leave City at the moment. They look like they're going to score. I don't think that he's going to leave City at the moment. Okay. I think they're close to winning the Champions League. I feel like it's very hard because there's a lot of good teams in Europe at the moment. I'd say Liverpool and City are the probably top 5 teams in Europe at the moment anyway. So they're in that bracket of close to winning the Champions League. So he's close, man.
Yeah, I think you were referring to Joan Laporta earlier, weren't you? I've just brought it up now as the president who was at Barcelona when he sort of gave Pep free reign, and then it was Russell. But I don't think he gets on with the current Barcelona president. That is a big issue for him, isn't it?
That's the one. That's what I meant. Yeah. The previous one, that when Pep became manager first, gave him free reign, left him do what he wanted, and I don't think this fella's the same, and that's why Pep ended up leaving.
And that's why people think Valverde's probably gets the wrong end of the stick, or the bad end of the stick, let's say. Try and keep it PG, because he kind of has to. All the signings aren't necessarily his, but he still has to find a way to work them in his side, and there's a lot of chefs, a lot of cooks, let's say. Do you agree with Harry? Would you like to see his next big job at international level, or do you think there's a club out there that is just waiting for him?
He hasn't managed in Italy, has he? I'd like to see him manage in Italy, maybe take over Inter Milan, Juve, maybe do a job there.
Yeah, but that's the same thing that, like, do you remember Zlatan kicked off about Ronaldo going to Juventus? Like, Juventus had won 7 league titles in a row. And Ronaldo went there and said...
I know what you're saying.
So would you like him to go and prove himself somewhere
No, I don't know.
Get him down, Brescia, see what he can really...
Yeah, has he played Football Manager and gone charge of Kidderminster and got them to the Prem? I don't think so. No.
Oh.
I have a social life.
Oh, come on, referee, had a card, at least.
I'd like to see him out of the Premier League, to be honest, because I think he's top 2 manager in the world and he manages Man City. So I'd like him.
Who's the top manager?
He's one of the top 2. I still think he's the best, and Klopp's probably second.
Are we all in agreement with that?
Yeah.
As a Liverpool fan, Klopp first?
Klopp first? No.
Yeah, currently, yeah. Klopp is currently the best manager in the world.
What do you think obviously he's had a little bit of time to build this team. How has he been able to turn Liverpool around from a sleeping giant, let's say, into top contenders in such a... It's not a short period of time in modern football in terms, but you've just become, one of the preeminent clubs again. Is it all down to him, or have you, is there any more inside information you can give us, Dave?
It's what you call it. They always say, like, with Leicester when they won the league title, it says, is it down to the players? Is it down to the manager? Or is it a combination of everything? It's a combination of everything. I think it's everybody in Liverpool. I mean, from the kitchen staff to the bus driver, to the players, to the manager, to everyone. Everybody's on the same wavelength. Everything is like geared around the players performing. Like, I think that's the big thing. And of course,
DJ.
Liverpool, all they were lacking was like a top class centre-half and a top class goalie. Now, I'm not saying like, I know Carri's had his mistakes, whatever, but he's not as bad as people make out. Simon Mignolet, steady pair of hands, but they've gone and bought the best goalkeeper in the world. And people might say, oh well, De Gea, yeah, fair enough, you support Man United, you support Man City, you'll probably say Ederson's better. But like, most clean sheets in the Premier League, most clean sheets in the Champions League, most clean sheets in the Copa America. Do you know what I mean?
Who would you rather play for as a player?
But that's easy. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm going to say Liverpool because I'm a Liverpool fan. Like, I grew up a Liverpool fan. So
the allure of Pep wouldn't trump that.
No, but like if I couldn't sign for Liverpool and Man City, I wouldn't say no. Like, So.
All right. Regardless of the clubs, then, which man would you like to play under? Regardless of the clubs.
Klopp.
Okay.
But I'm very fortunate because I have a few close friends who play for Liverpool, and I've been in and around them, like after games. Like, do you remember when Liverpool beat Spurs? Jordan Henderson scored the volley, and I was there at the game or whatever, and I was down in the players' lounge after having dinner with Jordan, and they had the goal up on Sky. They had the goal up on Sky, and obviously if you look at the ball comes over, and it looks like it hits off Jordan's shin. So we're like looking to our left, and I'm like, you've not even hit that clean. And he's like, well, it's gone in, like. And then Jurgen's gone, hey, Myler, you were a top striker, yeah? And then you have a little, like, do you know what I mean? He's so nice. Yeah. And then I met him last week again, and he come up, and like, he asked...
He's got that personal touch, hasn't he?
Yeah, he asked me.
It can be a little bit cold. It comes across anyway, but certainly not the case with...
Well, you don't know, you see, like, unless you're dealing with Pep regularly, you don't know, like, I imagine he's...
The extremely well-edited Amazon documentary.
Yes, but
didn't really give us any clearer indication, did it?
Of him going mad.
I now want to go on a holiday in Dubai. So, Harry, how's this game unfolding in the first
I think it's kind of
minutes?
started a bit better for City. They've got more control. Yeah. They look like more threatening. But we've just seen with a little counter-attack that we're still threatening. We've still got that counter-attack threat.
Picked the wrong ball, didn't he?
You're not going to want to hear this, lads, but we've got a City to win price boost at 3.
Come on, the Blues.
Which will be appearing as if by magic any moment.
Yeah.
Now? Maybe not. There we go. Correct score, Manchester City 3-2, or 7-1. Now 15-2 odds accurate at the time of recording, subject to change. See skybet.com for the latest odds. You have to be 18 plus to play along.
In the old fantasy.
If anyone wants to know how the game's going, De Gea's just been booked for time wasting in the 53rd minute. So
I think that's harsh.
that was harsh.
So
that wasn't
harsh,
that long.
Like, and like, do you know what the thing is? It's like, come on, look, Anthony Taylor here is bringing it back for something else now. Come on, Anthony. All right, he's in the box. These rules have changed so many times. Like, you're booking him. There's still 40 minutes to go.
There's
Do you know what I mean? Just give him the whistle and say, "Oi, lad, come on."
Right, I've got a little question here for you, lads. When was the last time you think Manchester City overturned a 2-0 half-time deficit at home? Given how successful they've been in the modern era.
McTominay.
McSaw strikes again.
Oh, you like that one, McSaw, isn't it?
It's a free kick.
Oh yeah, of course, pal.
That's not a free kick.
Right, so we'll go back to that question after this
when
Raheem Sterling attack.
Bissaka has had Sterling in his back pocket,
again,
but that's what I mean about him.
Bringing it out.
Really bad
he's.
Don't dive in.
Manchester City building on the edge of the box. Oh my God!
Oh my God! What a tackle! That's dangerous.
Was that Martial's legs or Fred's? Because someone's been almost,
That's Kevin.
Retired.
Oh, he's not giving the free kick.
Victor Lindelof.
Wow.
A.k.a. Kamikaze.
Do that in the 54th minute.
Right. When was it?
Celebrate a tackle.
When's the last time?
It's absolutely amazing.
Right, 2015 from David.
The last time, sorry, could you repeat?
City overturn a 2-goal deficit at home at half-time.
Oh, no, mine was one.
Okay.
Okay, I played the game.
Scored,
just in the Premier League then. Just in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Harry, what do you think?
2017, I'm going.
We'll end this now because it's clearly not as gripping as I thought. 2005.
Wow.
So not a great history of coming from behind.
Would you see with those with those questions?
How many times have City been
it's either like last week or 25 years ago. You know what I mean? You have to put one like we kind of went like just recently.
But that is pretty,
you're talking 14 years.
Pretty surprising.
Again,
I'm really goes back to how many times have City found themselves in this situation.
But this is why football's
the best. What a knock!
No.
This is why football's the best.
The problem is, fantasy football doesn't have like the American thing of assist.
Can we have a count of how many times he said fantasy football, please?
I know, but it's like I'm embroiled because like I'm ordering an open top like bus round my hometown.
Yes, James.
James, Man United break. It's James and Lingard against Walker, Angelino.
Let's stay with you, mate.
Fernandinho, Lingard's got it.
Come back, because you're
Oh, that's a foul. That's a really bad foul.
Horse racing on Channel 4.
James away. I mean, that's how quick he's going.
That's got to be a yellow card.
Shouldn't we say at the races? No.
At the races.
Yeah.
Actually,
Channel 415 on Sky.
Oh, was it 5? Sorry, I'm not one initiated.
Yeah, ask John O'Shea when he's next on.
He was the horse, the GGs.
What is the what's the result of that foul then?
Free kick United.
That's a booking, Nash.
Is it booking?
No, he didn't get booked.
He didn't get booked?
No.
I think Walker's rattled at the moment. That's why he's gone for that challenge.
Cynical.
This is a good indication that City are rattled.
Great recovery from his hairline.
Yeah, hairline. Yeah, great.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
Chris. Remarkable. While there's a lull in play, gents, there's a lot of discussion about changes afoot, but would you keep the current formation, keep the system, or is there anyone you look to bring on?
Yeah, I'd hate it if he tried to bring on like a defensive midfielder now and change formation. You have to keep it like it is. You can't invite more pressure. We have to be able to still hit him on the counter-attack and get another goal.
Fred, just take that free kick. He's a changed man. He's now confidently
taking
a free kick.
He's been taking a few, actually.
We
just don't score from set pieces, though.
I thought Maguire was going to just volley that, you know.
Has Solskjaer made sort of Fred his pet project to improve because he was a forgotten man?
I 100% was one of the people that wanted him out of the club. I thought he was very, had a head loss streak to him, but he's very composed now. He's very, very important, if not one of the most.
That's what we like about you, though, Harry. You admit when you're wrong. And you backtracking on Fred.
Shake of the head as well from John Stones.
Yeah.
John Stones there has gone down and he's shaking his head like Will said.
Otamendi!
Anthony Martial must be licking his lips.
Otamendi is one of the most consistently head loss players that we have ever come across.
Marcos Rojo.
We've gone from being extremely respectful.
They're from Argentina. They must be cousins.
Extremely respectful about Fred to totally disrespectful about Otamendi. But his recent form, not great.
Fred?
No, Otamendi.
Oh, sorry, Otamendi.
Otamendi, and he has kind of been, I mean, two central midfielders starting ahead of him at centre half must hurt, and it looks like John Stones is going to be taken off on a stretcher.
Zinchenko.
David, did that ever happen at the clubs you were at? Did the player was his place taken in the team by someone who's not a normal in that position, a regular in that position, sorry?
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Really?
I played right back for a stint under Marco Silva, and we had two right backs.
El Mohammadi, was he there?
Yeah, he was there. Marco just didn't fancy him defensively.
Really?
Yeah, that was the thing at the time. He thought Big Disco Dave would slot in right back.
Is that what he called you?
No.
Can't imagine Marco Silva coming up with that nickname.
Hold on, so was it you?
No, that was Robert Snodgrass.
He called you Disco Dave.
Big Disco Dave, yeah.
Was it you right back?
Yeah, I played right back,
and Andy Robertson left back?
Yeah. Where did it all go wrong?
Andy Robertson like?
That was the blueprint for Trent, right?
Honestly, the only way I try and weigh Andy Robertson up, say if when he was at Hull, he was like a 6 out of 10 player.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what, when he went to Liverpool, I thought this boy could go on to an 8. He said there was room to improve. I thought he can get better, right? That's the truth, and I never expect him to get to a 10.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying like he's. I actually think
genuinely
currently
feel like
he's the best left back in the world.
Yeah, for me as well.
Yeah,
100%.
but I said he'll get better.
Yeah.
I never expect him to get to the heights and levels he got to.
Did he have
and
that
I'm
natural
so happy
fitness
for him.
at Hull still?
He what?
Did he have that natural fitness?
Oh yeah,
remember that? Yeah.
But like,
because he's
the
relentless.
thing is, Liverpool's training. I've been fortunate enough to watch Liverpool's training. Is so intense all the time. It's like the way they play is the way they train, and that's why all players, even when you look at when they played Everton, Origi, Shaqiri, and those come in, and it looks like they don't miss anything. It's because training is like the exact same.
And is that rare in your experience that clubs at the top train that intensely?
Yeah, because usually if you're playing every 3-4 days, you don't really train.
But if you get a few injuries, does that not become like an easy way to criticise?
Well, they say that.
That's what I don't like about Lindelof. He does those wild
Sterling's
things.
in.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
where's Sterling going?
Wan-Bissaka.
Wan-Bissaka is so amazing. I don't think people understand.
Harry, what happened there? Break down that whole situation. Bro.
Lindelof has tried to clear the ball and has actually given it to Sterling. Sterling's gone on an amazing run, and Bissaka has just put him in a Spider-Man web, cleared it, and now they have a corner, which De Bruyne looks like.
Sterling looked like he was just running off for a throw-in. Like the controller had gone off. Kept going straight.
His R2 was jammed.
It was straight down.
His R2 was jammed.
Right, now United have cleared that corner. If you're not a subscriber on Football Daily and you just tuned in, then hit that subscribe button now, turn notifications on, get questions into William just here. He will answer them.
That's my problem.
He'll
I have
ask them to the guys in the studio.
Lindelof,
Let's have a couple more questions then, Will.
Yes, get your questions in. I'm looking at the stream right now, so if they're good enough, they will be asked. There's a question here from Cassie, says, is Daniel James the most underrated signing of this season?
Who's taking this then, guys?
Yes.
David, go on.
He has to be. 15 million, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, saying that?
Yeah, it was
15 million.
18, I think 18.
I like
18.
18, okay.
15
we won't
going on to
lose sleep over the 3 mil. but the thing is, that's the yellow card.
Just come on, and he's lost his head already, Otamendi. Brilliant.
But that's the thing is, like I said a while ago, we touched on it, that he came in. I don't think you as Man United fans expected him to play regularly all the time. It was like, this boy's got a bit. 2 or 3 years of progressing, playing here and there. And like, you look at him, he's been one of Man United's best players today, counter-attacking, his work rate up and down the pitch, he's been incredible.
Does that surprise you when players make that leap from Championship to the Premier League now, or do you think the gap is smaller than ever in terms of quality? Because he had one breakout season with Swansea, right? And he's like 21, isn't he? He's not like young.
The gap is massive.
Really?
Yeah. Like the Championship is probably more difficult to play in because teams are all very similar. It's like, you know, everyone's in each other's faces. Whereas the Premier League, I always describe it as like, you have so much more time on the ball.
Really?
Yeah, because like, I'll never forget, like, when I first played against Man United, like, I remember Steve Bruce coming to me and saying, you'll have loads of time on the ball. And I was kind of thinking...
DJ.
Daniel James.
In the middle.
James. Please,
guys.
He's touched it. Ah, it's comfortable. Keeper has in his hand. But like the thing with Steve Bruce, like, you have so much time on the ball compared to whatever. And I remember, like, I was playing against Paul Scholes, and I got the ball, and he just, like, I turned, like, lethargically, and he just kind of looked at me, like, kind of going, do something with it. Like, what are you going to do with it? And like, you end up going, all right, I'll pass it backwards. You know, that way, kind of like, it's just you get more time, but these teams are so organised and they're so confident in their own ability that's like break me down or do something to like hurt me. Whereas the Championship is more kind of in your face, frantic.
So physically is the gap quite small, but just technically you're saying it's still huge?
Technically, yeah, of course.
Is there any players in the Championship now that you think could make the step up quite comfortably?
Yeah, there of course there will be. There'll always be players.
And what have you made of Bielsa's Leeds? Ooh, they are the talk of the town in the Championship, aren't they? Have you been keeping a close eye on them at all? Or?
Oh,
yeah,
come on,
because Leeds are a massive club. They really are. Like, there's no getting away from it. It would be great for the Premier League to get back in, for them to get back into it, like the support they have and whatever. I just always feel that they're always probably 2 or 3 players short.
On the edge of the area, Rodri!
What a save!
Oh, is that a save or is that clip the top of the ball?
Harry,
What happened there? How did Rodri get the time to get that shot off?
He dug it out of nowhere. There's an amazing pass into the box by, I think it's, I don't know the left back's name again, Angelino. And it's been squared to him by De Bruyne, and he's just, I don't know how he's done that. No backlift whatsoever. What a shot. Great save.
Great save. You're right, you called out. Were you about to ask David a question beforehand as well?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what do you think of... Because there's a guy at Brentford, I forgot his name.
Ollie Watkins, maybe?
No,
the number 10.
Number 10.
Exactly who you mean, yeah.
Saïd Benrahma.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen him. Do you reckon he'll be able to play in the Premier League, or is it because, like you said, the quality is completely different in comparison to...
You see, it depends, because like in the Championship, you might play... Like, the majority of teams, there's not like many teams... Fulham are probably a good example of like teams that kind of dominate possession. Everyone in the Championship is a bit more frantic, it's a bit more end-to-end. Whereas, like, no matter how good of a player you are, if you, say, slot into a Watford, I don't know, Palace, Bournemouth, any of those teams, you don't have the ball. You don't have the ball against the Man City, then you never get to show your like ability.
Of course.
You know what I mean, it's so difficult. There are players, of course, that could step up and play.
Do you think someone should take a chance on Mitrovic in January? There's a lot of teams in the Premier League that could do this.
Mitrovic is young, isn't he? But he looks like he's had a hard paper out. He's like 24, 25.
It looks like a bouncer, bouncer at Weatherspoons.
But he scores a lot of goals. At that level, he scores a lot of goals, and I think he could do it.
Yeah, but you look, prime example, Jordan Rhodes.
He scored so many goals in the lower leagues, didn't he? Championship.
David Nugent.
Oh, David Nugent. He was a championship legend.
Well, Jordan Rhodes, even when he scored like 25 goals, and was it Middlesbrough or when Huddersfield had him, they didn't give him a chance. And is there just certain players who've got a limited ceiling, and managers know that, or like
you have to be given the chance to play as well, and then it's kind of like the Premier League, you don't have time. Championship is weird as it sounds. You like 46 games compared to 38 in the Premier. I know it's only 8 games more, but the games seem to come a lot thicker and faster.
When those minutes become a little bit more inconsistent, is it really hard to process?
Oh. James.
Here we go.
This is it, James.
Slide him.
You've got to use him.
Touch it.
Lingard, you've got to use him.
Jesse. Oh, Ash. What happened there, mate? Because that was a very decent attack once again.
It was a ball down the side to Angelino. He just slipped. He tried to slide it away. He just slipped. Dan James picked up the ball, driving at the heart of City, played it out to the left to Lingard, who had a meek shot, but he's won a corner. It's tipped over quite comfortably by Edison. Corner United.
We've had so many chances.
On the break still.
So many chances. This has been a great performance for Man United, I must
use of the word meek as well. Yeah, because Manchester City started well, didn't they, in the 10 minutes after half-time, Harry, but it's become a little bit more even since then.
I think Man United have sussed out what City are going to do now and what they're...
Man U's first corner.
Yeah.
Yes, that's surprising, isn't it?
Yeah.
City have had 10 corners. This is United's first.
But United had all those shots on target in the first half and City didn't. It's just, maybe not gone their way. Not the best reflection of play.
Absolute classic waste of time here by United.
Oh, the fans. No, the fans are throwing things. Yeah.
Oh, 3 lighters on the
couple of lighters on the pitch there.
Shocking, that.
Well, if there's any smokers,
that lighter could quite easily cut a player, couldn't it? So we don't like to see that.
That
don't condone that behaviour, and it's happening again.
It's
That's stupid. Fred's just taken a couple of missiles there.
How stupid is that?
That's not on, is it really? And it's holding up play.
How thick have you got to be to do that?
That's nonsense. That's what I don't like.
You're 2-0 down and you've just put another 5 minutes on.
Right. So let's have a couple of questions while these unsavoury scenes unfold. Let's not, give them too much airtime because it is, like you said, stupid behaviour. McTominay is going to
ruffling feathers.
Right, Will, we'll have a couple of questions.
Yeah,
mate.
certainly. Thank you very much for your questions. They've been flying in thick and fast. What?
Flying.
That's
just an expert, giving yourself some time.
Do you know what? They should
get in touch.
You should get someone to run over and just take a short one to get the ball out of there.
Yeah,
but it's perfect for him, though, isn't it? From Coco, she says, what do you think about Wolves finishing in the top 6? They started the season terribly. They've come back strong. David, they're playing Thursday, Sunday. Small squad, but they're still fighting up there, aren't they?
Yeah, I covered their game against Sheffield United. And they did start, it was after the Europa League.
Yeah.
Now, I believe they are 3 wins and 2 draws from their 5 Europa League games, which shows they're not really having a hangover, which is good. The only question that you probably have is their squad depth. That if they were to pick up 2 or 3 injuries, if they can keep everyone fit, then I don't see why they can't keep progressing in the Europa League and keep doing well.
It's getting a bit tasty now out there, isn't it?
It is. We need this.
Yeah. Does that play into Manchester United's hands?
Definitely.
Manchester City players looking visibly irked.
Yeah.
I think even the fact that they've thrown lighters onto the pitch just shows how rattled they all are at the moment. But Man United are composed right now. The way we're defending, the way we're playing, we seem like it's not actually getting to us right now. We know that we are actually in the most powerful position right now. We've got 2 goals and there's, 20 minutes left of the game, so...
I think that's a good observation. Every United player really keeping their head, so to speak, after that incident and just...
But do you know what? It's completely wrong what's happened.
Yeah.
But it's also for United.
It galvanises you.
No. Sterling's gone down trying to get a penalty. Maguire looks like he's just come across him and
card for that. I mean, if it's not a foul, we should give him a yellow card.
What was the precursor to that then, Ash?
It was another... Do you know what? De Bruyne, he picks up the ball on the edge of the box and instead of crossing it, he just finds such good passes. And he's done that with Sterling. Sterling's running behind and Maguire's come across him and Sterling's kind of looking for the penalty there. He's gone down quite easily and the ref has indicated we should play on.
That's well worked well done from Maguire there, well worked from KDB. That's not a booking, is it?
It's not. No.
Okay, just a little bit of contact, but certainly not enough to get a penalty.
No.
What were you saying, sorry, David, mate? Do you remember, or should we just move on?
We're having a debate about
yeah, sorry. You were saying about the Man United players not reacting. It's completely wrong. You should never see things thrown on a pitch. The good thing for Man United is they're 2-0 up. So, do you know what I mean? It's just you'd expect Harry Maguire, who's captain, just to come on and say, lads, we're 2-0 up, got like 25, 30 minutes left. Let's just focus on the game. Like, scrap all this. We need the 3 points.
When you,
I mean, then you get the last laugh.
When you played and players you played with, did you like playing angry, or would you like prefer to have like a calm, focused head?
It depends. Do you know, like,
if you're playing like a derby, do you want to be like
you want to be pumped up?
Yeah.
Like, considering this is like a Manchester derby, we've not seen any, like, I don't want to see naughty tackles, but like tackles flying in.
Yeah.
Like, the only fellow who's really tackling is Wan-Bissaka.
What was the most heated game you played in?
Ooh.
Surely the
Pardew?
No. That always comes up.
Who had the 70-minute mark for the Pardew gong? Someone ring it. Yeah, you said it always comes up, doesn't it? But you can't avoid it. But the most hotly contested game then?
Newcastle Sunderland was always like fierce. But that's just, do you know what I love about that? That's two passionate cities about football. Like, it's a shame because they both need one another, because those derbies are everything to those people. And like I was involved with Sunderland when like we got tonked, and then I was involved with Sunderland when we won. Yeah, they're knocking on the door here.
Harry, what's going on? Because you got your arms crossed. You're looking a little bit vulnerable.
I am. This is where it gets to the stage where we've seen City do this many times. And once they score, they go on to win the game or start to equalise or whatever. So I'm a bit sceptical right now. And this is the pass that they love doing. They love going to the wing, fizzing it in, and
City
then
are claiming everything at the moment as well.
They're desperate.
They're desperate for a pen. Mahrez has made a bit of a difference actually since coming on.
Yeah.
Well, he's had a great start to the season, hasn't he? And that is not a penalty.
Bar. Right, let's unloose the hands.
It's not clear and obvious. It's not been checked.
Unloose.
Sorry, what were you saying, Harry, mate?
Oh, my word.
I was saying that.
Why didn't you look now?
I was saying that City have this tendency of when they are desperate for a goal, they literally put everything forward, and that's what they're doing right now. They've I don't know how many crosses have been put into the box right now, but there's been a lot. But we've done well.
If you can break quickly from these situations,
we need one more goal to dead the game.
We could see Lingard dancing on the Etihad, I think.
What dance? You might have to hit the worm.
If the worm comes out,
I'm done. I'm absolutely done. If he does that, he's an absolute
I'd get a
legend.
Lingard tattoo if he did the worm.
He did the what? The worm?
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, the worm?
Yeah.
The worm. He ain't doing the worm.
I'll do the worm right here if he scores.
He might have something else.
We'll hold you to that, mate.
Silver's in the box.
That'd be great to clip out, to be fair.
Luke Shaw clears, well done.
Luke Shaw, being someone who's just, been a beast for quite a long time, he's done absolutely well today. Done really, really well.
That's a very political approach there. So Pereira's coming on. He's been getting a fair amount of flack from the United fans this season. A little bit
like that.
A little bit uninspiring, but
this is sometimes where Man United really get me angry.
Really risky change.
You boys, a lot of groans coming from over there. Harry, you look furious, mate.
I don't like Pereira. I think he doesn't know what position he plays. He's a head loss player. Yeah.
So I don't mind Pereira, but he's never pinned down a position.
Oh, he's just got the ball, he has.
Yeah, he's a technically very sound player, isn't he?
If he scores, I'm done.
Decent ball across.
Yes, Pereira, world class.
But no, you're right. He's played attacking midfield. He's played DM.
He's played on the wing.
Valencia.
He played on the wing.
He's going to hit it.
Oh, that's the first
That's
time.
what I don't like about him.
My problem is the change.
Yeah,
He's taken the yellow card. I'm sure
my analysis of the lad has just been proven. Pereira, what are you doing? He's a jeopardy.
That's the best thing I've ever heard, though. Like, what position does he play? He's played centre mid, he's played DM, he's been on loan at Valencia.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't know that was the position.
If you were listening properly, David, I said he played CDM wide on loan at Valencia.
That's a dirty challenge.
Have a sip of your coffee, mate. Right.
Dirty challenge.
What happened there?
Well, obviously, he's given the ball away, and Sterling has obviously capitalised off that, and he's absolutely clattered the back of his legs and obviously got a yellow card, which...
Would you have done that there, Harry?
I wouldn't have lost the ball.
That's fair, and that's probably the best answer today. So.
But Ollie, last week at Villa, he brings off Williams for Luke Shaw, Martial for Greenwood, and they were just rubbish substitute. Like, they needed to make different substitutions, and I think with that, your biggest chance was on the counter-attack there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Martial is the definition of pace.
Well, so Lingard's now kind of playing as a false nine, I think.
Pereira's going to score
behind
third,
him.
isn't he?
No, what you call it. It's simple what they've done. They've gone, like, do you know what I mean? They put the two boys up, just like, well, Rashford up through the middle, Lingard off him. Do you know what I mean? Pereira's come on just to drop back into, like, overload midfield. They've set their stall out here that we're going to try and keep a clean sheet, keep it 2-0. If we get a good break that they commit too many.
Do you think it's a bit of a risky thing to do that? To like when you're winning 2-0 up, 15 minutes to go defensive?
You have to. Oh, there's a good stat for you. Sorry, no. Man City have scored 10 goals in the last 15 minutes.
The most in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Great. Fantastic.
They did that in one game as well.
Pressing.
Hello.
Angelino. Wan-Bissaka does well.
Wan-Bissaka for me has to be man of the match.
He's been very good.
Man of the match. He's put in an amazing
I'll tell you what,
performance.
our whole back four has been very good so far. It's only 75th minute, but our back four.
Even Lindelof, mate, looking like a leader.
Lindelof.
Do you know what? He's got a weird knack of playing good against really good players. He was great against Mbappe.
Do you remember against Juventus in the Champions League? That was like one of his career-defining games. He was absolutely incredible. And like you said, the back four has been very good all season long, right?
Yeah, I think we don't have a bad defence. We have.
But you face a disproportionate amount of traffic.
We make bad decisions
can't keep
sometimes.
the ball.
For example, the game against Liverpool, there's no way that we should have conceded that goal. Same with the Arsenal game.
Oh, dear, that was not a terrible header.
Right.
What a weird header there.
What did Jesus just do?
If he'd shot straight away, that would have been great. Like, the awareness there was
Thank you,
great.
Jesus. Top man.
That's shocking.
A little bit trivia here for you. David Mailer has scored against both of these sides. But which goal did you enjoy the most, David?
Oh, Dave.
Talk me
That's
through him
nice
as
bit
well.
of...
Well,
need reminiscing.
The Man U goal I scored, we were 2-0 up after, I think, 20 minutes, and we lost 3-2. Rooney scored an incredible volley.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? White kit.
Yeah, I remember it all too well.
What was the other one? Man
City at the Etihad scored, and then James Milner scored a free kick in the 93rd minute.
Stinks.
Yeah, it does, mate.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry, Dave.
I thought I was getting 3 bonus points in fantasy.
That's a good question. Did you put yourself in your team?
time.
Never. Why not?
I used to have myself on the bench because I was cheap. Do you know what I mean?
Did you ever have Robertson and Maguire?
We had.
Play with them at Hull?
No, I never had Harry. I had Robertson. Yeah.
Who did you think had a higher ceiling when you were at the club, Robertson or Maguire?
Probably Robertson.
Okay, interesting.
But he was playing more.
Yeah.
He was playing more than Harry was. Harry didn't play for us for a lot until Marco Silva came in, where he absolutely nailed down a spot.
And were you at Hull when you were sponsored by Flamingo Land? Because that's possibly the worst sponsor I've ever seen.
I was, yeah.
This guy, Bissaka, I might have to get AWB tatted, and I'm not into tattoos.
Maybe just buy a Man U shirt with Wan-Bissaka on the back.
No, because it needs to last long. It needs to last long. So anytime someone hits me, hit him with the AWB.
Has he been your favourite sign in the last sort of 4 or 5 years?
Nah, Pogba was.
Oh, look at the Gallagher's face.
Pogba, this is amazing because he absolutely loves City to death.
Of course, he's talking about Noel Gallagher. Noel Gallagher's on screen right now.
Burning.
I mean, that's his face when City are winning as well, so I don't really know if he's upset or not. Will, have we got any questions from the fans? It's been a little while.
Yeah, one quite apt from Jack McWilliams. Obviously, Ole is a club legend in charge of Man United, but he says, do you think Everton will make a similar mistake to United, maybe not a mistake now, and appoint Duncan Ferguson too early due to a few good games? Just one at the moment, but many people are seeing.
So I guess a question about rushing into appointing a new manager. Do we think that's going to be the case with Everton guys?
I think it has to be because I don't think they have anyone that they want to sign get as a manager at the moment. I think it's the same thing with what we've done with United. We've gone for a club legend. We've gone with someone that knows the inside out of the club, and like Dave said earlier, it's very important for that to be when you're bringing a manager in to a team that has an ethos. It's needed. Well, I think it's the right thing to do if they win games, but if he ends up losing games, then it's going to be detrimental for him.
I don't think they'll do it because they had David Unsworth there for a few games before. He actually did quite well, and they still replaced him with an actual manager. I can't remember who it was now, but maybe Allardyce. But they've done it before, and I don't think they will do it again. They might bring back Moyes.
It'd be interesting to see.
Whenever you say that name,
because they've gone from the likes of Allardyce you mentioned to Silva, completely different playing styles. That's why they've got a mixed squad. Who do you think they should go for? Go on. What were you about to say? Sorry, before.
The boy who's at Bayern Munich, Kovac. Is that right?
Yeah, Kovac. He was at the game today.
He was at the game today.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Do your research, lads.
But just watching the game, right, and the fan actually confronted him about it, and he said, now I'm sacked. I don't want a job till next year. Which it's December. I don't want a job till next year, but apparently he's just here experiencing a few English games because he's a massive fan of the Premier League. So I don't know if we should read too much into that.
Where was he sat? Next to the chairman?
He was in the director's box, so I wouldn't believe
apparently
that.
he had just the cash coming out of his pockets. from Bill Kenwright.
But he would be an odd appointment.
He wasn't even that
to
good
go
at
from
Bayern,
Marco
was
Silva.
Won the league.
It's not.
Yeah, but I
know, but Dortmund are very good.
Not an awful lot of fanfare around him, is it, at the moment? But yeah, I mean, one to consider for sure. Kovac, interesting.
They need something.
Who would you go for, Will? Go on, give us your assessment.
I don't want to go down the Brexit route, but you might have to look at someone like not Allardyce because he's been there before, but like those sort of the Pardews, Tony Pulis.
Are they good managers?
Tony Pulis coming in, shore up the defence is what no one would ever want.
Big Sam has a record of not getting relegated. He's like, do you know what I mean? He's solid.
This is very slick from City here.
80th minute, Mahrez turning Luke Shaw inside out.
Oh, you know what Man City need? A Fellaini.
Fellaini has got the best chest control I've ever seen.
Guaranteed.
Artistic, mate.
85 minutes to 90. If you need one goal, he just absolute carnage.
You've gone from Pulis to Everton to Man City need
Can you
Fellaini.
tell that
I hate playing your club?
My opinion of you has never been lower, mate.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I'm going to go to Rashford.
I'd be happy with Pulis.
Recount that incident. What happened? Should City be doing better there?
Riyad Mahrez I reckon he's made a big difference. Just coming in from the right, step overs, put Luke Shaw on his bum, and fizz the ball across, but no one could get on the end of it.
Riyad Mahrez probably feel a little bit aggrieved to not be in the side today. Is that good a start?
Yeah, so he came 10th in the Ballon d'Or, and everyone was like, "Why is Riyad Mahrez coming 10th?" He won like African Cup of Nations, like captained his country. I think
a
people forget about that.
people don't look at the African Cup of Nations as big as the World Cup, but they should, because there's some amazing players like Mane was part of that.
Salah?
Koulibaly, Salah.
He carried the
that was the whole
Algeria
justification for Ronaldo being there, right? Despite only scoring 21 goals in Serie A, I think 30-something-year-old Quagliarella had like 30 odd goals, didn't he? So,
but remember, it is players that are judging this. So it is. I think when the players can judge who's going to be in the shortlist, we can't actually say anything really because they're playing against them.
Do you not think it's just a popularity contest, the Ballon d'Or? Has it lost a little bit of its?
Who's better than Ronaldo and Messi?
Well, Messi should have won it for the last 10 years if we're talking about the best player.
No.
I like it. We've got a bit of friction.
I'm Team Messi all day. I love Ronaldo. I love what he's about. But there's been years where he's performed better than Messi.
Yeah.
I think the competition should be like.
Oi! Lingard, a little touch there.
He owns this shoe. Lingard, you scored a goal. This is yours.
Shelf as a memory.
Yeah. You own this bit of boot.
David,
it's between those two.
Yeah.
Like even the year Modric won, he had an incredible year, and I think he won it because of the World Cup.
It was a glitch.
Do you think Van Dijk should have won it this year?
100%.
No.
Really? Even
and I love Big Virgil. I think Messi had an incredible year.
But is that not a little bit unfair how a centre-back can have one of the best seasons in his position in Premier League history and still not win it because he didn't score all these goals and get all these assists?
Yeah, well, that's. I'm sorry, but that's why they say strikers get paid the most money. That's why they're the
cream
of the ones
crop.
The cream of the crop.
The strikers actually get paid most out of clubs?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Really?
But you know what, with Van Dijk,
they're the ones who put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, but you're the one giving them the ball.
Yeah, they're the one putting the net.
Was Van Dijk in the final against Real Madrid when they lost? Was he part of that team?
No.
He wasn't. So he was brought in when they won the Champions League this year.
Yes.
He was in the team.
Yeah. I genuinely look at that Liverpool team and I think, yes, you got Salah, yeah, you have all those players, but you see what Van Dijk has done for that team. I think he is the best centre back in the world.
Yeah, this is what we're saying. Yeah. So you can be the most important player to
I believe what he's done, if anything, when Cannavaro won the Ballon d'Or, it was because he was instrumental in them winning the World Cup.
But it's weird because people actually disregard international football.
So do I to some extent, because when the international break comes,
no.
We want the league to come back.
Yeah. When it becomes like the Ballon d'Or, it's like international football is nearly scraped out the window.
Yeah.
It's only like they say Modric won it because he won the Champions League and he had an incredible World Cup. He was the heartbeat of
Croatia.
Okay, so Ronaldo, what, third? Did he come third this year? Sorry, you'll have to.
Oh, what a ball!
Yes, Luke Shaw.
So Ronaldo, 21 goals, 8 assists in Serie A. Juventus win the title for the 7th time in a row. So he's not been particularly exceptional in that Juventus side. A very, an all-conquering Juventus side, and he still finishes in the top 3. Do we not think that's a little bit owing to his popularity as a player?
Oh, goal City! Oh, Otamendi! Oh no!
We knocked him off before.
No!
Ash.
That's so basic.
I did say 2-1, guys.
That's so basic. Mahrez corner whipped in. Otamendi 6-yard box goal.
Rashford first goal, 2-1 United.
I hope you put a fiver on it.
I didn't. Should have.
That is such a basic goal to concede after 84 minutes of defending well.
Who's left him there, Ash? Who should be marking him?
He's gone
That's
what, through Wan-Bissaka and Maguire.
You've got to give him. He's gone through it. He's gone through a crowd of players.
Regardless of the defending, that was.
He wanted that more, didn't he? He wanted that more. That's a game on. 5 minutes to go.
Now this is where I start sweating. Towels. We need towels because
all of Liverpool, well, the Reds in Liverpool will be back in Man United to hold on, won't they?
Right, so Harry's bet currently with it. As the
700 quid that
with the on-screen graphic now.
Oh, nervous.
That would have been a pretty healthy bet if you're betting along with Harry. Let's have some questions then, Will.
Yes, plenty coming in thick and fast. I'm looking at the stream, so get your questions in. We've got 5 minutes left in a Manchester derby.
No!
Oh, no!
Maguire, get rid of it!
That's expect a lot of this for the last 5.
No, Morris! Oh! What a save, De Gea! Foul.
No, he's gone down. I think he's gone
He's
down
not giving
too
it.
easy.
That's a free kick.
I think he's gone down too easy, Jeff. Where's
Get rid. Herrera, get rid.
This is the up to Mendy. You got from one end. You're scrambling.
Oh my God, he's got about 8 yards on it.
It's looking very scrappy for Manchester United all of a sudden, but they do clear. Rashford is almost in.
I genuinely believe bringing on Pereira shows our intent to defend rather than attack.
And invite pressure.
I don't like that about Oli when he does that.
Ferguson used to always say the best way to defend a lead is to get another goal.
Yeah, what did he ever win?
Who?
Ferguson.
That's very disrespectful.
Yeah, I know.
That's Grandad.
That's our Grandad, yeah.
I love the way you call him Grandad. I think that's disrespectful.
I mean, he's not the youngest.
Oh,
now.
Wan-Bissaka
yet again.
David De Gea.
Pretty relentless here from Manchester City. Then. Lads, this is starting to feel a little bit
I'm
too
scared.
familiar.
I'm scared.
If Dave Jackson was here, he'd have a ball and he'd be bouncing it up and down.
He would.
He'd be throwing it around the studio.
I mean,
that's a great save by De Gea, by the way. We've forgotten about
Arsenal were playing City at the Etihad.
Big, strong
there, wouldn't it?
arm.
And Rob Alden would be captain.
Big Rob.
Big Rob.
Oh, Shaw's got cramp.
Oh, you know
Clever.
what?
While there is a lull in place, Charlie says, do you think...
ZB! Sorry.
It's all right, mate. He says, do you think how much of Manchester City missed Laporte? Is it because... Is that why they've dropped quite a few points, David? Couldn't get my words out of my mouth. It's a frantic game.
Yeah. Boy spoke there about the importance of Virgil van Dijk.
Is he there, Virgil van Dijk?
He's in. I'm just going to think on the top of my head now. He's probably go on. I'll say it. I'll commit to it. He's probably in the top 5 centre-halves in the world.
Doogie of FD fame once said that Laporte was a better defender than Van Dijk.
He needs to go, walk to the bathroom, turn the tap on, splash some water in his face.
Right.
I mean, they are very similar standing to their respective sides, aren't they? For sure.
Do this
what one player would you take from Manchester City and put him in that Man United team then, boys?
Fernandinho.
KDB?
Yeah, Fernandinho.
KDB?
We've got Pogba.
How long for?
The other one, do you know what? Maybe Aguero. And then you play Rashford on a wing. You play like Dan James and Martial on the other wing, chop and change.
Yeah.
And you just got...
Fernandinho is I think one of the most amazing signings in the Premier League. Yeah.
Wouldn't take him now.
Keen type of midfield player.
Oh yeah, but don't compare Fernandinho to...
No, I can't because
text him, tell him that, please. He's been compared to Fernandinho.
So who do you expect, Fernandinho or Roy?
Oh, hands down Roy.
Oh.
Roy is arguably the best player to play in the Premier League.
He was unbelievable.
You think Roy's the best player to play in the Premier League?
Roy was great, and I'm a Man United, but not one of the best. Yaya Toure was better than him. Yaya Toure was arguably...
Now, you need to go for a walk and splash some water in your face.
Yaya Toure had individual seasons which were... up there in terms of the best in Premier League history.
Who's the most successful captain to play in the Premier League?
I think you've answered that for us. But who would you rather take then? Patrick Vieira or Roy Keane? I mean, it feels like a foregone conclusion with you.
Yeah, 100%.
Patrick Vieira or Roy Keane, boys? That's where you need Dave Jackson in the studio. A little bit.
True.
Arsenal fan?
Yeah, for sure.
Big time.
Oh, this is Man City all over, man. They love this wing play.
89th minute, Man City have got all the ball.
All right.
How long's it going to be?
Manchester City have penned Man United in their own 18-yard box.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Let it go!
So why is that fizzled out? Man City not being patient enough, or United just setting up really well?
I think a bit of both. City are pushing, but then United we're just resilient now. I think that goal they've scored has just woken us up. I think we can't make no more mistakes anymore. One mistake is a goal.
Right, because we're at fever pitch, lads, let's keep all of our focus on the game for the last, 3 or 4 minutes. How much stoppage time do you think there's going to be? Five.
Oh, wow. This is Peppage time.
It's going to be 10.
Peppage time. This is Peppage time.
What's going on here?
All right, let's go. 5 minutes then. Stay with us,
This
guys.
is going to feel like
for the last 5 minutes
10
of
minutes.
the big game, can Man City claw themselves back into it? Like we said earlier, they haven't won, being 2 goals down for an awful long time, but can they share the spoils here? They look in the ascendancy. 5 minutes, that's pretty ominous for you boys.
So United have just won potentially about to win a derby and also hand Liverpool the league title.
Don't speak too soon, Will. But here at Manchester United on the break, this is great.
Daniel James, get in the corner! Get in the corner!
No. Whip it!
No, get in the corner! Just hold the ball.
There you go!
No, he's done right. No, he's done right. He's done everything right.
Well, Daniel James.
Hold the ball.
You got to slow it down. That's.
He's on the corner.
Don't force it. Keep
Hold me! Hold me! Does Pereira have to do better there, David, or is that all right?
He got a corner in the end.
He's won a corner.
But if he put that straight into Ederson's hands, if I was on that pitch, I'd have pulled his hair out. He's got a corner, so you forgive him.
What were you, Captain Ireland? What were you like as a captain? Were you like vocal, or were you kind of?
You let people know if they're doing something right or doing something wrong.
What's that? Vocal.
Well, you're just like chipping away at people, or were you just leading by example?
You have to
wind down the time, guys.
You have to make sure that everyone's.
I'm really sceptical about Pereira being a Brazilian.
Was that like biggest honour of your career, captain of the country? Was it?
100%.
Harry, what's going on?
Don't be caught offside.
Don't be caught offside. Doing what real teams do.
Keep the ball there.
Keep the ball.
United just in the corner, keeping the ball.
Retention. Let's see how you can do it. Yeah, go on, clamp him. We'll take a foul.
That's
a corner again.
No,
it's always. That's the problem. When you keep the ball in the corner like that, if you watch, the referee will always give a free out because he just wants to get the players away from there.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, it's always like that. There could have potentially been a corner to United, but he'll just say, "Do you know what? Meh."
Get it out.
Yeah.
92nd minute. 3 minutes to go.
He just wants some goals.
Yeah.
My heart right now is
stinks of an Angelino equaliser at the back.
Oh, please, Will.
That would ruin me.
He's free.
Look at Angelino.
Well, Angelino to ruin Harry's bet.
Oh, what a knock!
Well up, Maguire. Well done, Pereira. Ashley
Young's the right person for this because you know what he's going to do. He's going to cut in. Oh, no, he's not.
He says as Ashley Young absolutely wants
He usually does that thing.
Downfield.
Cuts.
Win a free kick.
Yeah. He's an amazing diver, I must
We're
say.
almost 3 minutes down.
No, it's gone too far.
Into the 5.
Gone too far there.
Let's stay with the game. Ash and Harry have, losing the marbles here.
Ash did not have any.
Ash, you're a bit of a clean freak. I'm surprised you're rubbing that pillow in your face, considering
that's a very good point.
To be perfectly honest.
Never been washed though.
Absolutely
not.
not.
Too bad. De Bruyne, edge of the box.
Oh, no.
Angelino's starting to see a lot of the ball out here, and considering how much you guys have dug him out,
slated him.
he might play a key part in the finish of this game.
He's back again.
Right, get your predictions, guys. Just
Ashley Young.
If anyone's in
Ashley Young.
Yes! Yes!
Come on. That's his second yellow. Oh,
no, he should have been.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he wasn't.
Should have been, yeah.
Oh, the one on Rashford, wasn't it? No, Lingard.
Right, who still thinks that Manchester City are going to equalise? Let us know in the comments below. If you're not subscribed to Football Daily, then hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on. We do all the big games here on the Football Social. Twice this week. You're very welcome. Ashley Young winning a free kick there, alleviating some pressure on his side. A minute, 20 seconds
Why are you smiling? It's not done yet.
I know, he does that. He did that the other day. I was really annoyed at that.
Don't do that.
Smiling and waving.
I think he's just a fan at heart, and that's just coming out of him. Love that, guys. Love all of that. Come on.
The Manchester United fans in fine.
He's wasted a lot of time. If we haven't taken this free kick yet, fantastic waste of time. Minute to go.
What's it like to play in a situation like this, David, where you need the result? It's the final minutes. Is it just
hanging on?
Feel
Granddad's
happy.
I love my granddad. He's just such an amazing bloke.
You're just thinking like, please don't concede. Please don't concede. And you're just hoping that everyone is on
one bit of luck.
Because United players have put a lot into this. Do you know what I mean? That you don't want them to be tired and just something to switch off.
Keep up with him. Oh!
Is the difference there massive going into the next
Corner
game?
City, 30 seconds left.
If you think about this, right? If Man City are to score here, it will feel like a win.
Sky Bet.
And if Man U concede, it would feel like a loss. Do you know what I mean?
This has got to be the last chance.
Could be massive in terms of the complexion of Man United's season.
Yes!
Daniel James!
No, that's not good enough.
Keeper.
Oh! Clear it!
Get rid, yes!
I'm a United fan, apparently. Right.
You just...
Let's stay with the boys on the
Hang on,
sofa.
hang on, please, hang on. Oh, Rashford,
Yes!
Rashford, go!
Rashford,
go!
run!
Go!
Run, Rashford, run!
Oh, what a tackle! What a tackle for...
Oh, yes!
That's it.
Yes!
Come on!
Yes!
Get in!
United!
Get in!
United!
Yes!
Come
What
on!
a win! What a win!
They
Come
said
on!
we wouldn't win.
Yes!
They said 4-3. They said 3-3.
You got your bet right as well.
I got it right, guys.
You got it right.
That's outrageous.
Yes!
Incredible.
Right. Full-time scenes there on the pitch.
What a
Rashford
win.
ran himself into the ground today. Not quite as
believe
influential
we
as he
won
was
it.
against
What
Spurs.
a
But they
result.
got the result in the end. City dominant for the last 15. The boys absolutely ecstatic in the studio. Get your questions in for them post-game. We'll be answering 10 minutes worth before we disappear. Wow, could that be a season-changing result, lads?
It's got to be. We've now got to kick on and win the next game against the smaller side, so-called smaller sides. We've got to win the next games. We've got to keep this momentum. David, you're welcome. Which won you the league?
14 points ahead of Man City.
Wow.
That's...
Wow.
Albeit though, Leicester are still chipping away. So
They
come on,
are.
the Villa.
Is the
Come on, the
table-
Villa.
Here's the mention of the table then. Manchester City staying in third, but Manchester
14
United
points.
rising to fifth. Look at that, just 5 points behind Chelsea. Just shows you how quickly life can change in the Premier League with a couple of results going your way. Tottenham, as a result as well, 6th behind United. Now, what a week it's been for United. Let's see how they fare over the congested Christmas period. Because that man, Martial, only just about fit enough to start today, and it proved decisive, didn't it? Him getting in the side. You said you kind of weren't happy with him being rushed back, but it needed to happen, Jen.
I was wrong. I was wrong. He got the winning goal. Ollie's at the wheel.
Is he at the wheel to the end of the season then, after these two results?
He basically, his licence was revoked. But DVLA have said, you know what, Ollie, take your licence back. And look what he's doing. He's steering us into the top 4. Great. Great analysis, Harry.
Fair play. No, love that.
Look at my fans and look at my players. This is
lovely to see.
This is lovely to see.
Lovely
I think
to
this
see.
is what we wanted. We wanted to see our team actually try and go against the greatest teams
It's
in the
crazy.
league.
If you go back a week ago, when Man United had the results against Sheffield United, and you think we've got Spurs and City coming up.
Yeah.
Like, I probably judged my prediction was 4-1 City going off those games, thinking that City would be, especially at home. But like just to think like the performance they put in today has been incredible.
Have you been impressed with United today?
Yeah, very impressed. Defensively, like the set piece, fair enough. I think it was Silva across the ball, and it's like on a plate on the 6-yard, and like Otamendi goes and wins it. Besides that, United defended better, they attacked better. You know what? It almost felt like Man United had a game plan.
Yeah.
Has this been
and they executed it perfectly.
We spoke about this earlier. I said if Manchester United could actually just try each game, there's a mentality, there's a way we want to play, and we've actually shown it today. Attacking, counter-attacking football, soaking up the pressure, defending well. We've done all of that.
Do you think this week's been the clearest representation of what Ollie wants to do?
This is it, and now the players know what Ollie wants. Players wanted to come to United. If they know what United are trying to do here, players would more likely to want to come. My head's absolutely gone right now. I can't believe we actually won that game.
Yeah, if you said that before, but like the performance was absolutely amazing, wasn't it? It was just like a vintage Fergie performance almost.
Yeah, extremely competitive. Rashford again in his kind of
top off,
his status.
Back out.
I'd have my
Do you know
top
what I mean?
off. If I had a body like that,
Lingard.
I'd be off all the time.
So everyone's just.
I was going to take mine off here and show you what I'm working with, but PG, guys.
Will.
Sorry.
Come on, mate. Let's get in the questions. Put your top down. Let's get in the questions.
First
5
one,
or 10 minutes, then we'll get out of it.
Obviously, quite a few standout performances, but who was your man of the match, gents? Dave, we'll start with you. Who are you going for? There's a few candidates, isn't there?
There are. I think Maguire and Lindelof were very good. Wan-Bissaka was brilliant. Kept Sterling quiet, who's one of like Man City's best players. But like we said, it's your strikers get paid the most money for a reason. I give man of the match to Rashford. He's he's done an incredible job. He's worked up and he's helped back defensively as well.
Yeah.
And I think, his goal, he'd probably be annoyed with himself that he's not got more. And that's the thing. And do you know what? I'll go for Rashford. I think he's had an incredible, few games recently. And do you know what? I think he was Man U's main player today, and he put in the performance.
So what you're really telling me he's going to be in your fantasy team next week?
I took him out.
Harry, what about you? Who are you going for?
I'd say, I agree with what David said about the strikers and whatnot, but I think Bissaka made some very, very crucial interceptions, challenges that possibly could have led to some goals or some chances. So for me, I think he eradicated all problems with Sterling. Sterling's a very good outlet, but I think there was no outlet on the left-hand side because of what Bissaka done. And we know how serious Sterling can be on his day. So for that reason, I'd say Bissaka, man. He was amazing for me.
Ash?
I'm actually going to go Maguire. I thought he was really good today. I thought he mopped everything up. Sometimes when you're defending deep like that, you just need that one leader to come and win balls in the air, win headers. And I think he did that today. Defended really, really well.
Yeah, I think he could have been any one of that back.
Could have.
Well, 3 in the back 4.
Yeah.
So I agree, but, who really cares what I think after we've heard from the Manchester United fans? So let's have a couple more questions after we revisit our group bet, because of course, certain someone in the studio would have won 120 to 1. What a shout! Odds accurate at the time of recording. Obviously, no one's going to bet along now, and they're subject to change. Pretty redundant statement. Go to skybet.com for the latest odds. In future games, 18 plus to play along. Have we got any other questions?
Yeah, plenty flying in. So the main one,
that round of applause deserved. There, well done.
Can't think many people have done that.
Thank you.
In the studio, well done, Harry. The title race. I think if Leicester win, they go 8 points behind Liverpool. Is it done? Are Leicester serious contenders?
They have to be. You can't. They just won't go away.
Yeah.
I know, Liverpool have a significant 8-point lead if Leicester win, but they're still there. They're still knocking at the door. They're still going. I believe Leicester do play City quite soon.
Yeah.
So that will be a very interesting one. But it's in Liverpool's hands.
Do you think, because I remember when Liverpool were 10 points clear last year, gents, we saw if Liverpool didn't get a goal before half-time, the crowd would be on them straight away. Will that factor into the running?
Of course. The fans now are used to them playing this style of football where they're just, beating teams comfortably, and even when they're not playing well, they're still finding ways to beat teams. There is going to be a period throughout the season that Liverpool are going to hit a sticky patch where they're going to draw 2 or 3 games in a row. Like I said a while ago, they might lose one, but they have built up such a significant lead now that they can afford to do that, and that's why he's. Look, I'm not going to tell Jurgen Klopp what to be manager of Liverpool, but even changing players, you're going into a derby and you rest Salah and Firmino, you're thinking, hold on a minute. Do you know what I mean? We want them to play, rest them against Bournemouth because this is the derby. But then Origi, Shaqiri come in and it was as if nothing was we didn't need them. Do you know what I mean?
Gentlemen, hold that thought because we can actually hear from Marcus Rashford and Scott McTominay post-match right now.
Scott, Marcus, you withstood tremendous pressure in that second half, but did you quite simply blow them away in the first half?
Yeah, that was the case, and we could have had more goals. I'm really. Sometimes they do more for you as a team, and we'll enjoy this victory, and I think it'll help us a lot going forward.
Was that comfortably the best performance of the season, Scott, to come here, the home of the champions?
Yeah, it's always going to be difficult. They're a top team with some world-class players in there as well, so you've got to deal with them as well. But I thought in the first 30 minutes especially, we were absolutely frightening on the break with this man and the other 3 boys up front, so it gives you a flat platform to go and attack the game as well, and I feel like we've stood some tremendous pressure in the second half as well, which will obviously stand us in good stead for the future games that we've got.
Scott's just touched upon there, frightening on the break. How far can this game plan take Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men this season?
I think we definitely need another plan when it doesn't work, when teams will be sitting back against us. But for the bigger games, it seems to be the perfect plan for us at the moment. I think that's 7 now unbeaten against the top 6 this season.
So just finding a way to unlock the smaller sides, Harry?
Yeah, I think we've got a great basis in terms of, like you said, if it doesn't work, we need to understand that we need another way of winning games. But for now, it's working really well. I think regardless, we will find ways to win. We haven't actually had problems scoring goals this season. It's never been a problem. It's just about seeing out when we're winning. But I'm very happy with the way they're playing. I can't think of anything better.
Nice. How much of a boost does it give you winning derby games? as a player, David? How much confidence will this give them moving forward now? Because it's been up and down. It's ebb and flow for United, hasn't it?
But like, you know, Man City are, you know, their next door neighbours who've been successful the last few years. Man United have obviously dipped from, you know, the successful times they've had. So to beat that Man City team, I know they're not this season, they're not as good as they have been, but you know, that's a huge confidence boost. And should have probably won by more. That's the scary thing. You know, they fully deserved the 3 points. They were much better. And like McTominay touched on it there, like they had to be solid at the end. The last probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes, City were throwing everything at them after they got the equaliser to get, or sorry, not the equaliser, the first to get an equaliser. But they stood strong and saw it out. And you want to see them take that into other games. It's, you know, the lads there touched on when you're playing the lesser sides. Teams are going to sit back against them, but they must be solid at the back to know that if we have to try and break teams down, that, like, we're going to be solid. That seems to be their problem, is they're not solid, that, you know, they're getting caught over playing or over expanding position, players getting too far forward and they're getting caught and, you know, they're conceding goals. But if they stop that, then, and they can put performances like that and they get the front three boys firing like they are.
And like you said, can't be underestimated that they actually deserved it because, of course, achieved victory in this fixture under Jose, but maybe under more contentious circumstances. A great show today, lads. Thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, the Football Social is on every single match week. And here's our next one, Sunday the 15th of December. Arsenal versus Manchester City. That could be a butchering. At 4 p.m, live on Soccer AM and Football Daily's YouTube pages. You can, of course, catch all the highlights from all the big games on Sky Sports' YouTube channel as well, their football YouTube channel, I should say. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. See you later.
United.
Rashford!
Oh.